4:30. It all starts Saturday at 4:30, 1:30 Pacific on CTV.
The whole NFL is watching.
Of 5 games at home here on Molson Export Canadians hockey as they take on the Florida Panthers. Florida Panthers, by the way, this is their 3rd and final game of their road trip. Matthew Tkachuk, 7 points in his last 5 games. No goals to get points against the Leafs, but he's going to be sniffing around for more. And there's Harvey Pinal. He was called up, joined the roster. He'll be one of the forwards for the Montreal Canadiens this evening. And there's Matheson playing against his former team. You know he's got money on the block. That is for sure. I can guarantee that as we welcome you inside Molson Expert Canadians Hockey on TSN. Tessa Bonham, Carlo Coloiacovo along with you. So the Montreal Canadiens looking for their 3rd straight win. Coming off 2 wins against some pretty high-powered offensive playoff teams in the New York Rangers and Winnipeg Jets. And as a couple defensemen, we will guarantee you that good offense is coming from great defense.
It sure is.
Here's a look at their Canadiens' last 4 games. They're 3-1-0, 2.75 goals for, allowing just under 2 goals against, and a power play functioning at 30%, which isn't too bad. With more on that great defense, let's head to Brian and Sergio, who will be calling tonight's game.
Tessa, it is the 2nd of 4 meetings this season between Montreal and Florida. Meeting number 1 was not pretty in Sunrise. Alexander Barkov had the hat trick in the first period. He had a 5-point game. But Sergio, fair to say this is a different Montreal Canadiens team with a lot more confidence lately.
Yeah, Martin St. Louis talked about it this morning, that when Barkov was on the ice, he just hurt them, like you mentioned, with 3 goals in that first period. But now, the way they've played in the last 8 periods, he really likes the way the structure has been. And he was asked about Barkov, how are you going to handle him tonight? He says, we got to do it collectively. It's not going to just be the center and 2 defensemen that's going to take care of Barkov. So as they've done in these last 8 periods, I think they've done a really good job keeping shots to the outside and allowing their goaltender not to have to make all the big saves. So that's a big improvement from before, and hopefully they continue doing the same thing here tonight.
Samuel Montembeault, Florida draft pick, 25 career games with the Panthers. Yet to beat his former team. He'll try to do that tonight. In the meantime, here's Kenzie Lalonde, ice level.
Joined now by Kirby Doc. Kirby, this is your 3rd game in a row as a center. How are you finding the adjustment back to middle?
I don't know, it's been pretty good. Obviously played center my whole life, so it's not too big of an adjustment, but feel good. Helps definitely with guys like Andy and Hoff.
The team continues to roll with 11 forwards. What can you depend on about your team's depth?
I think it's nice to play 11 forwards. You know, you kind of into the game a little bit more, and it kind of shows the depth that we do have. The young guys coming up, playing bigger roles and bigger minutes, it definitely helps out.
Thanks, Kirby.
Thank you.
All right, here's a look at the Habs' projected lineup for tonight's game. Sam Montembeault, as mentioned, back between the pipes. The Montreal Canadiens choosing to dress 7 defensemen.
Your favorite.
My least favorite thing that any coach could ever do. Nonetheless, I do not coach this team. Marty St. Louis does. But let's talk. Marty mentioned it. Sam Montembeault has not beaten his former team, but it seems as though something's different about him this season, and the Stars are kind of aligning tonight.
They are, and against his former team, like you said, where the last time he played him, he got lit up a little bit. And not to his fault. I mean, they're dressing 5 rookie defensemen in that game. A lot has changed since then, and there's so much to like about Sam Montembeault. Like, as a backup goalie, you come in, you're always getting the bad games in the schedule, the back-to-backs, the 3rd game in 4 nights. But with Jake Allen's injury, he stepped in the last 4 games, and just look at these stats. I mean, he's got a 1.76 GAA, a save percentage of 9.51 and 9.52. But look at the goalies he's beat. Shesterkin, Hellebuck.
I know.
And a big reason why Montreal's been able to have the success that they're having. And it even feels even better as a backup goalie when you get the stamp of approval from your GM by basically saying, we're happy with the way he's playing and he's a big part of our future.
Absolutely. And I'm sure Florida's looking at him like, oh, man.
You let one go.
Aren't the Habs lucky to have him? All right, we'll continue to set you up for the game when we come back. We'll have first period puck drop between the Montreal Canadiens and the Florida Panthers right here on Molson Export Canadiens Hockey on TSN.
What do you do if your child needs hospital treatment, but your family lives far away? Ronald McDonald House is a place for families to stay while their child is in hospital.
Some water?
Because when families stay together, sick children get stronger.
Come on, come on.
Winter is less scary in a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Welcome to uncommon winter capability.
Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like
The work by the team as we take a look at Mike Matheson, who was the first-round pick of the Panthers way back in 2012, 23rd overall. Nice to see him healthy again, Sergio. He's missed so much time this season. I know at times in talking to him in the room and just frustrated not being healthy, but a big addition back with all the injuries right now that the Montreal Canadiens have endured. There is Mike Hoffman. He'll spin, shoot it in. Mark Stahl up for Tkachuk as the All-Star gave it away to Hoffman. Here's Hoffman towards the net. Off the post, Anderson. The backdoor play, Anderson's stick shatters as he hit the post behind Bobrovsky. Mark Stahl, wrist shot, missed the mark. For Hagee towards the net. That was interrupted. Tkachuk, backdoor feed as good pass to Bennett. Still loose in front. Montembeau, the left pad. He got it out in time with Sam Bennett in the crease. Tkachuk gets dumped and the Habs skated up ice. Here's Anderson. Lost it as Bennett took it away at the last second. Good chances at either end in the early stages. What a move for Hagee cutting in. Then takes contact from two Habs in the corner. Pass in front. And that was in the skates of Luostarinen. Christian Dvorak will play it back to Anderson, who got the Pell Center going early here on this Thursday night. Luostarinen on the forecheck. Denisenko there as well. Cousins up top. And we got a penalty coming up. The Montreal Canadiens to the power play here in this first period.
Yeah, Pacetta went down. He's checking for blood.
Florida number 27, minor penalty, high sticking.
So it's just going to be 2 minutes.
So Etta Luostarinen in the box of the Montreal Canadiens. Chance on the power play here in the early stages. They were 0 for 3, Sergio, versus the Jets on Tuesday.
Yeah, they were, but I like the fact that, you know, overall they played a solid game against the Jets. And we look at the replay, Hoffman with his head up and Anderson with his stick on the ice. It breaks in half, but he ends up hitting the post. And then Sam Montembeau with 1-2 saves on the pad, and then it comes out again with the left pad on Bennett. So Montembeau still sharp.
And a little bit of a meeting here at the blue line as Bobrovsky's left, and now the backup has come in, Alex Lyon.
Wow.
So Alex Lyon comes in. Welcome to the game, young man. As he hasn't played in the National Hockey League this season, so his first bit of action, we'll try to keep you posted on Bobrovsky. But he comes in, he was 1-0-1 in 2 games last season with Carolina, and he's called into service. Look out, though. Here's Lundell. In shorthanded, Lundell. Big stop, Montembeau. We just talked about season. What a stop from Montembeault. Habs drive it in. Cole Caulfield up top for Kirby Dach for Suzuki. Suzuki, that hit a skate. Caulfield shoots right in the crease. Lyon made the stop. What a big save in his first test of the season, and it's on Cole Caulfield.
How do you like that? Just comes in there for Bobrovsky and makes an unbelievable save going from his left to right.
Here's Suzuki through center ice for Montreal. What a chance that was for Cole Caulfield as the young man comes in. 26 goals on the season. Eric Stahl, the veteran on the forecheck, the former Montreal Canadian. Part of that big cup run a couple years ago. Cole Caulfield. Suzuki. There's Mark Stahl, Eric's brother, all the way down the ice as the brothers reunited in South Florida and playing together. Full change for both teams, and 45 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Luos Turinen. Arbor Xhekaj gave it away. Bennett, wrist shot, blocked by Dadonov. As Dadonov had 2 goals in that win versus Winnipeg back on Tuesday, the 4-1 victory. And that was a strong game. He had the team leading the Central coming in, and Montreal, real good effort. And a similar lineup tonight as the Panthers trying to strike. That rip from Sam Bennett missing. Anderson. Other than that chance from Caulfield, nothing doing here on this power play as that's knocked down. And again, it's Bennett shorthanded. He'll drift one in, handled by Montembeault.
Yeah, the Panthers very aggressive at getting the chance, like you mentioned, on the breakaway. And then Bennett also up the ice. So they're forcing the Canadians in their own zone.
Here's Pezzetta coming in, backhand try, and Lyon right in front, popped by Tkachuk, and he'll recover. Matthew Tkachuk in his own zone curls around. So the 21st ranked penalty kill in the NHL, a good kill early here in this first period, nearly 5 minutes in. Lundell, who had the breakaway. I mean, what a stop from Samuel Montembeault. Carlo and Tessa talked about his numbers lately, and he answered the call again. Remember, too, Florida, a dangerous team in the first period. Sergio tied for second in the NHL, 49 first period goals, and Lundell nearly had one there shorthanded.
Yeah, even though they made changes from last year, I mean, they were the #1 offensive team, so they like to go up and down. They want to push the pace. Should be a fun game here tonight.
Panthers, averaged over 4 goals per game last year. They were unbelievable and outscored a lot of their problems. Denisenko brings it in, watched by Harris. Cousins, the former Montreal Canadian. Cousins sends it up top. Aaron Ekblad, wrister just wide. Denisenko, the former first-round pick, to Luos Turinen. He was hit, and Suzuki sends it up for Caulfield. Cole Caulfield assessing options, had Ulonen in his sights as Ulonen on the forecheck. Cousins touch pass to Denisenko. Denisenko at the Habs line, chips it back to Cousins. He's lined up by Harris. Harris took him down, big hit. Now gets the crowd buzzing here at the Bell Center. Stahl up top, Ekblad in and out of Montembeault, but he recovers in time, and he'll hold for a face-off in Montreal territory.
Well, yeah, pretty exciting first period as we see the chances go both ways, but Montembeault has been solid. You see Lundell, he's going on the breakaway, tries to go blocker side, and Montembeault makes the save there. And then how about this? What a save coming across on Caulfield for your first shot of the game. Not too bad.
2 great rookies last year. Lundell was 5th in rookie scoring. Cole Caulfield, 23 goals in his rookie campaign, and 2 great chances at either end. Here is Edmondson. Up for Hoffman is both Edmondson and Gudas on the ice right now. Remember, they got pretty heated in that first meeting back December 29th in Florida, where Gudas was taking some liberties with the young Montreal players. Edmondson gave him the big cross-check.
Yeah, a little frustrating at the end of the game. The Canadians were getting beat, but you got to keep your head up when Gudas is on the ice, that's for sure.
I think him and Gallagher combined for about 30 penalty minutes in that game as Hoffman towards the net. A frustrating night in the half, so a much different team as we talked about lately. A lot of confidence, playing better as a unit with no passengers right now.
Yeah, that's the key, especially with all the injuries that they have.
Kirby Dach. As he talked with Kenzie back at center, he's making moves. Kirby Dach creating some space. He'll stop in the corner. The backhand from Anderson. Looking for Pizzetta. Pizzetta tangled up with Mark Stahl. Puck's out of the net, and Montour picks it up. Pass into space for Hagee on the right side. Sends it high slot. Kachuk, wrister blocked by Savard. Montour, he'll follow up. Pardon me, that was Forsling. Gustav Forsling, the follow-up try, and he just missed. Kachuk in. Pass in front. Look outside of the net, and Montembeault came back to Kachuk, and Montembeault was ready. Here comes Evgeny Dadonov. He'll stop. Watched by Forsling. Drops. Dvorak. Wrister. Post. Hit the crossbar. Dadonov. Side of the net. Pizzetta's in front. Evgeny Dadonov wanted Pizzetta. That was interrupted. Dvorak back on it. Dvorak in for Dadonov. Hit by Forsling. In front. Dvorak and Ekblad. Good job. He cleaned it up in time.
You gotta love this game. It's back and forth.
Good pace early at the Bell Center as Kachuk wanted for Hagee off a stick, and Matheson had to be careful as Alexander Barkov was lurking, and he is a dangerous player.
And he's so strong when he gets that puck. He's really tough to get the puck off him once he gets it.
36 points in 28 career games versus the Montreal Canadiens, and the 5-point performance. We talked about it in the first meeting. Had the hat trick in the first period, but a much better start thus far for Montreal. Rem Pitlick lost it though. Barkov tripped up by Pitlick. Penalty coming up. Lundell sends it across. Lyon racing to the bench. Extra attacker out. Lundell collects the puck. Goes down low. Barkov up top. Gudas faked the shot. And finally touched up as Eric Stahl was in that high slot looking to pull the trigger. There's the call. Rem Pitlick to the box. Florida on the power play when we come back.
Swiss Chalet is home to Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken. Our always fresh, mouth-watering chicken is slow roasted over an open flame to tender, juicy perfection. Right now, enjoy our quarter chicken dinner with a cup of delicious loaded potato soup for $15.99. Hurry in to Swiss Chalet.
My first night driving in Canada was incredible. The lights that I saw from the back seat, it felt like a movie. I did my master's while working at Bell. The Education Assistance Program helped pay for my tuition. It gave me the tools to improve my speaking skills. I was more connected to the Canadian life, and it helped shine a light on what's possible.
Play safe with our safer gambling tools, including deposit limits, SafeMate, and timeout.
Feel the fun. Hey, Ojo.
Did somebody say?
Get what you want when you want it. From 7-Eleven. Dig into a cheesy nacho bowl. Bite into a Big Bite hot dog. Or sip on a world-famous Slurpee.
Did somebody say? Skip.
Well, you see Rem Pitlick in the box. I mean, he's the guy that he had the puck. He lost it to the wrong guy, which was Barkov. I mentioned how strong he was with the puck, and from there they get a penalty, so the Canadians will have to kill. Lots of action in this first period as chances on both ends. Nice little play once it came right back in front of the net where Montembeault had to be careful and make the save. And then going the other way, the Canadians get a great chance with Dvorak hitting the post. Nice play by Dadonov, just making a little curl at the blue line to hit the late guy.
Alexander Barkov had a power play goal Tuesday in Toronto. They were 1 for 3 versus the Leafs, as they have the 15th ranked power play in the National Hockey League coming into tonight. Good control by Edmondson down the ice right to Alex Lyon, as he is into the game for Bobrovsky, who started it and really left in the early stages right as Montreal had their power play. We'll keep an eye on that story as Reinhart drops it back for Ekblad. Aaron Ekblad works it across. Montour. Reinhart in the corner. Kachuk set up behind the net. He's got the puck. Kachuk. Barkov. Up top. Barkov gets it back. Shoots 2 sticks, and it bounces behind Montembeault. Alexander Barkov starting the play. Montour, his drive, his skate went wide. Edmondson trying to clear. And that grazed the stick and the netting and out of play as the linesman there to make the call.
You know, we talk a lot about the Florida Panthers, where they were last year to make that trade. Huberdeau goes to Calgary with Uyghur, and that kind of changed a lot of things. Like now you got Tkachuk, who's having a great season, but he's not the guy that's setting up the plays like Huberdeau was on the power play. Tkachuk is the guy that's in front of the net, so I think that's affected their power play for sure, as well as Uyghur not being around.
As Tkachuk leading the way, 56 points on this team.
Yeah, he's done his part. There's no question about that.
Same with Montour, 37 points, Sergio. He's already at a career high. He's tied for second in team scoring with Barkov coming into tonight. So he's had a great year. It's going to shatter those career high numbers and lots of hockey to come this year. Panthers working around. Montour. Backdoor pass intended for Ekblad. Barkov couldn't find him clean. Montour works it back in. Savard and Dvorak giving chase. Habs killing off some more time, and nice little pop pass to Edmondson. He'll do the rest and send it down the ice with 25 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Rem Pitlick.
Yeah, good work by Dvorak and Savard in the corner to get that puck out, and Edmondson throws it down the ice.
Last push here from Florida on the power play. As Bennett led the drive in, play into the corner, and again, Montreal doing a great job. Another clean clear down the ice as their penalty kill improving, ranked 23rd in the National Hockey League. So back to 5-on-5, Pitlick out of the box, Suzuki in the corner with Bennett. Lundell on the puck for Florida. Lundell, wrist shot blocker, stop Montembeault. Verhaeghe picked it up, put it in front, gets it back from Luostarina. Up top, Forsling wrist shot. That hit Harvey Pinard and cleared to Suzuki, trying to break in clean. His stick was tangled up. And you hear the fans wanting a response. Suzuki's stick taken away from him. He had a clean break otherwise. Pass in front. And taken down is Stahl right in front of Montembeault. Eric Stahl. Below the goal line. Up top for Gudas. Gudas towards the net. Stahl picks it up. He'll drop it off. That wrister didn't get through. Gudas collects, slashes it over to Stahl. In game 1,333 tonight for Eric Stahl. Leads all active players in that department. Gudas, wrist shot, Montembeault to save. Gudas back, and he'll pick it up below the goal line. Radko Gudas. Little touch pass as Mahura. Down the ice, and look out. Arbor Xhekaj was taken down with Luostarinen into Montembeault. Net flying, players flying, and they're both slow to get up.
Well, it looks like they're okay, which is a good thing as they end up getting back up.
So net back on the moorings. We get another look as Luostarinen, Xhekaj tangled up, and thankfully it looks like everybody's okay.
Yeah, Montembeault just like kind of jumping out of the way when that happened. And, you know, going back to Bobrovsky, I just think he might have pulled something on that attempt when Anderson went across and hit the goalpost. Because he comes across and stretches to get all the way across. That might have been something that happened, but Lions done a good job in coming in, though.
Well, tough sledding, too, because Spencer Knight, their young phenom goalie, he's on the injured reserve as well. So right now, Alex Lyon, pretty lonely netminder right now with nobody to back him up right now.
Yeah, and the Panthers need all the points they can get.
There's Hoffman, a step, Hoffman to the net, and he was tied up by Montour from behind enough. Play sent back intended for Doc out of his reach. He'll reset in his own zone. Cousins on the forecheck. It's dropped for Edmondson. A lot of good chances here in this first period. Shots 9-4 in favor of Florida. As Montembeault, 9 stops, and many of them very solid for the Habs to keep it level at 0. Forsling taking contact from Josh Anderson below the goal line. There's Reinhart through center ice. Tried to flip it across for Forsling. Barkov, far boards. Jammed back in by Forsling. Montembeault will settle it down for Savard.
Well, that's one thing the Canadians need to be aware of. The Panthers' defense are always going to be active. They're going to come up, so you got to look behind you to see who's coming.
As they lead the National Hockey League, Sergio, to your point, in goals from defensemen. Very active and very effective scoring from the blue line.
Yeah, that's where the forwards really have to be aware who's coming up the ice.
Radko Gudas behind Lyon, using the boards up for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe chipped it up ahead. Racing after it, Bennett. Savard slashes at it. Bennett picks it up, feeds Gudas. Gudas at the line, hesitates. That shot missed. Tkachuk's out of the net right in front. And Cole Caulfield able to collect for Montreal. Caulfield up to Uronen. Uronen shot up high on Lyon. And give him credit, man. Alex Lyon, yet to play this season at all. He won the Calder Cup last year, allowed the fewest goals in the AHL, and got a 1-year, 2-way deal with the Panthers from Bill Zito and Preston in action tonight. So good for him early. He's done just fine as Harris tries to test him again. Harris up top. Hoppins drive misses with Harvey Pinard, the screen in front. Raphael Harvey-Pinard, the backhand, but Florida collects. Montour, that's off a stick. He wanted Mark Stahl and the Habs at the end of a shift. They'll change with Harvey-Pinard and hop in on the forecheck. Harris at center ice. Watch by Stahl. Zipped up for Harvey-Pinard. Ryan Lomberg back. Lomberg. He'll skate it up the left wing and flip it in over Kovacevic. Harris hustles, gets there first. Kovacevic along the boards for Hoffman, lost it. Pass in front, Lomberg tries the shot as Giovanni Smith, the setup man for the far boards. Rem Pitlick racing in, nice defensive play, Ekblad. Up for Stahl. Stahl, touch pass to Ekblad, walking in, drops for Stahl. Stahl near circle, back to Ekblad, in front for Lomberg. Stahl gets taken down as Jack-Eye works him over. Lomberg watched by Savard. Up near point, Ekblad. Ekblad tried to feather it in, hit Savard, and Rem Pitlick, the backhand, can't clear. Second attempt, he will. Pass intended for Dadonov, it was behind him, as Denisenko shoots it back in for Cousins. Under 5 minutes to go in this first period. Shots 9-6 Florida, and a much better start than the last time these two teams met back at Sunrise. Denisenko gets taken down by Savard. Cousins on the puck. Up for Gudas. Swings it across quickly as Mahura shoots it in. Jack-Eye, little backhand flip, far boards. Mahura there. Wanted Denisenko. Up for Gudas. Gudas thought about the shot, took it, and then it was a good block by Dadonov. Follow-up from Cousins, misses. Denisenko. Far point. Mahura, slap pass for Luostarinen. Luostarinen gets knocked off the puck, but Florida, good control here.
Yeah,
Cousins.
Canadians are tired, Brian. They need to get a change or a whistle.
Cousins on the puck, waiting, backdoor feed, and Montembeault pushes across. Wide open net as Mahura thought about the shot, took it around the net, and finally it pops free to center ice. And a penalty coming up as the Montreal Canadiens not only survived that flurry, now they got a power play opportunity when we come back to Montreal.
Here at the Nissan Institute of Thrilology, we have excitement down to a science. And today we're looking at the cold hard data on cold weather convenience. All-wheel drive confidence and premium comforts to keep you warm through the storm. That's the power of Thrilology.
And now during the Nissan Thrilology sales event, lease select 2023 Rogue models for 4.49% for 24 months OAC.
Why Ted's Lucky Jersey is really just a dirty jersey. Presented by me, Clay Matthews.
What is Clay Matthews doing in my house?
Here's you wiping tears of joy with it after a win.
I am never washing you.
Your wife tells me these are complete strangers? You're drooling, Ted? And here it is in the delivery room of your daughter's birth.
Ew, Dad.
Alyssa, how old are you again?
I'm 13.
13 years, Ted.
Honey, I love you. but it's time to wash that jersey.
Deeply. When Clay Matthews says it, it makes so much sense.
It's dirtier than it looks. It's got to be Tide Hygienic Clean.
With dementia, you're adrift. By combining research with a full spectrum of care, Baycrest is pioneering breakthroughs. No other organization leads more researchers working to defeat dementia. We believe 50% of dementia cases can be prevented, but we need your help. Donate now, and together, we'll create a future without fear.
Well, this chance by Cole Caulfield is brought to you by TSN 5G.
A great look here, and what a stop by Lyon is. You can watch this game using the TSN 5G view, powered by Bell 5G on the TSN app. Take control of the angle, zoom in, out, rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G view for more information. As Cole Caulfield, now the Montreal Canadiens, another opportunity. They were under big-time pressure, Sergio, and then Nick Cousins, the former Hab, the slashing call, and he was not happy. They never really are happy when they take those penalties, are they?
No, and I agree. I was never happy. I never thought I had a penalty.
You should have won the Lady Big every year, Sergio. Off the draw, Caulfield, wrist shot, Dvorak in front. As Christian Dvorak, he's had a crossbar in this game. Dvorak sitting on 199 career points in his NHL career, and him and Caulfield having their chances here in the first.
Absolutely, and it all starts by winning the draw as Dvorak gets it back for that opportunity.
And there was a look at the penalty as Pizzetta had his stick slashed out of his hands. Caulfield losing the puck. Again, it's Lundell. He's already had a great breakaway chance shorthanded in this period. Habs only allowing one shorthanded goal on the season. That's actually tops in the NHL.
Well, the Panthers are aggressive, as we saw. They already had a breakaway, and they're going to force the play up ice.
Gustav Forsling rips it along the wall, high over the head of Kirby Dach, all the way down to Montembeault. Picked up by Mike Matheson. Matheson delays, drops it back. Nick Suzuki through center ice. Suzuki to the right side as Matheson got tangled up with Stahl at the line. Stahl's lost his glove. Dvorak had Caulfield in front, couldn't find him. And that allows Alex Lyon, the 30-year-old, able to squeeze and hold.
Well, when you pass the puck back to, like, say, Nick Suzuki coming up the play, everyone else is kind of standing still waiting to see what's going to happen. And Matheson and Stahl collide at the blue line, and no call on either side as we look at Cole Caulfield heading to the bench as the Canadiens make a change here. The second unit on the ice.
Saw that pass across, just hitting the skate of Radko Gudas, who is not likely on the Christmas card list for any Montreal Canadiens.
Well, not only the Canadiens.
Samuel Montembeault. Good point by you, Sergio. Here's Barron. Coming off a 2-assist game during the Barron Bowl as he beat his brother Morgan with his parents in the house on Tuesday.
Yeah, that was great.
His first ever 2-point game in his young NHL career. Mark Stahl collects down the ice as just 35 seconds remaining in the minor penalty to Cousins. Hoffman to Dadonov as those two had nice offensive games back on Tuesday. Ulonen waits, wrists are up high on Lyon, and he'll hold. And you got to give this Alex Lyon some credit, man. No update yet from the Panthers, as he's had quite the career. The United States Hockey League, Cedar Rapids, Omaha. He played his NCAA hockey with Yale, and we mentioned a great year last year, winning the Calder Cup, one of the top goalies in the AHL. And he was 9-8-1 this season in AHL Charlotte, and pressed into action tonight. As the Panthers are wrapping up their 3-game road trip. Suzuki. Kirby Dach. Watched by Stahl. As Stahl chips it down the ice. It's interesting, too, Stahl really getting a chance as he takes the reverse hit there. Stahl was a big mentor. He's hurt right now. Eric Stahl is hurt behind the play, and he's slow to get up. And he was a guy that mentored a lot of these young players. Sergio, you were part of that run. Cole Caulfield, obviously, Nick Suzuki. And Stahl appears to be okay as he took that reverse hit.
Well, Matheson and Stahl, they went at it earlier on the power play when they both went down at the blue line. So this continues as Matheson, you know, going for the puck. He knows he's going to get hit, so he just turns around and braces for it, and Stahl's not ready. A little bit up on the chin, and he was dazed, but he ended up skating to the bench on his own after all.
Big hit from Mike Matheson.
And Eric Stahl was like, okay, I'm going to remember that. So we'll keep an eye on those two as the game goes on. Paul Maurice not happy, of course.
Paul Maurice wasn't happy on Tuesday either for the officiating. He cost him $25,000 as he was fined for his words. He was a lot more careful with his words earlier today at the press conference.
Yeah, words cost you money. That is true.
As Cousins out of the box, so another good kill. Penalty kill 2 for 2 for the Florida Panthers. Under 2 minutes to go in this first period. The backhand in by Jesse Ullinen. Lyon will play it to Forsling, can't clear. Suzuki avoided the body check, but the Panthers control the puck. Carter Verhaeghe trying to drive play in. Ullinen collects it, and another penalty coming up. Edmondson the hold. So Joel Edmondson to the box, and the Panthers a chance in the late stages here of this first. Hold, interference, regardless, Edmondson in the box.
Crafted with Valencia orange peel, Blue Moon is one of a kind. Something this unique could hang in a gallery, but then you wouldn't be able to drink it. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time.
With Toyota's RAV4 lineup, there's more out there to experience. So go make more happen in your RAV4. Go from city roads to country roads, filling up at all the right stops. Go discover places only few people have gone before. And when you go, let all the little details make every day a little more special. Because you can experience more in your RAV4. Discover the RAV4 for you.
Canada's favorite pizza delivers again with new stuffed cheesy bread, only from Domino's. 3 delicious varieties, just $8.99 each when you mix and match with another pizza, side, or more cheesy bread. Domino's, pizza over everything.
When I started my kombucha business, I thought there would be a lot more kombucha and a lot less business. As a small business owner, I've learned that trying to be the cool boss is a lot harder when you're actually the stressed boss.
I know everything about my furniture business. Well, everything except the whole business part.
Not anymore. With QuickBooks, you can confidently manage your business. Yeah, take charge of your business. Intuit QuickBooks.
Well, there's our man Edmondson in the box. He doesn't keep his feet moving, and once his stick gets up there, Verhaeghe just goes by him and tries to keep it going, and Edmondson gets called for that.
So a late power play chance here for the Florida Panthers, as Matthew Tkachuk leads the way, 20 power play points. Last time these teams actually met, Barkov had that hat trick in the first period. He became the franchise leader in power play goals, got his 67th all-time, passing Scott Mellenby.
Eric Stahl, just to let you know, went to the dressing room. I know there's only 1:09 left, but he's still shaken up.
Yeah, they may want to take a look at him in the quiet room to make sure he is okay. As Dvorak through center ice, shorthanded. Dvorak, Suzuki spinning, couldn't get the shot away. As Barkov, the captain, got back and took it away. In comes Tkachuk. He'll drop. Barkov up high and a good stop on Tempo. And Montour, the pass out of his reach. Also, the Panthers, Sergio, just tweeting that Bobrovsky, lower body, questionable to return. So obviously hurt himself, as you'd mentioned, out on the ice. So it's up to Alex Lyon right now as the Panthers on the power play. 30 seconds left. Ekblad walking it in, still loose, and jammed down the ice by Josh Anderson.
Yeah, who's the emergency goalie if he gets hurt?
Well, Mark Denis still looks pretty good in the RDS booth to my left. Maybe they signed him to a one-game deal as Bennett's off a stick and high and out of play. We will obviously look into that. All kidding aside, we'll look into it, though.
Yeah, that is interesting. I remember because, Mark Denis travels with the team, and he was always on that list in case it happened to the Canadians when they were out there. So interesting.
We will look into it as Martin St. Louis looks on. 12.7 seconds remaining. Habs trying to get out of this period clean as Bennett sends it across Montour. Barkov kicks it to his stick. Barkov feathers it in front, but a nice job by Savard down the ice, and that'll do it. So a lot going on, Sergio, here in the opening 20, but we still await our first goal.
And lots of action, 11 shots, and it's a 9 for the Panthers, but Dvorak hits the post as well. And yeah, goaltender's out for the Florida Panthers. Bobrovsky's not coming back, so Montembeault sharp and end-to-end action in that first period. I love it.
Montembeault, his 6th straight start for the Montreal Canadiens. It was also the 6th straight start for Bobrovsky, who's been playing some nice hockey for Florida. Intermission coming up next with Tessa, Carlo, and Kenzie from the Bell Center. We'll step aside.
NHLShop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League. And Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear. With unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, Adidas, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Some would say that summer is the best season to get outside, play, have fun. We say, why should summer have all the fun? It's the Jeep 4x4 winter event, where the best way to get into winter is to get into Jeep. Right now, finance the Jeep Grand Cherokee for as low as 3.99% for up to 72 months.
Will inflation just keep inflating?
What is early retirement now?
GIC or TFSA? So many acronyms.
Is it too late to start investing?
Am I covered for a rainy day? No, I just need to invest in some earplugs.
Swiss Chalet is home to Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken. Our always fresh, mouth-watering chicken is slow roasted over an open flame to tender, juicy perfection. Right now, enjoy our quarter chicken dinner with a cup of delicious loaded potato soup for $15.99. Hurry in to Swiss Chalet.
If your New Year's resolution includes saving money, then you don't want to miss the final weekend of the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 60% off in-store clearance items, plus store-wide savings in every department. Furniture, mattresses, brand name appliances, and select big screen TVs. Plus, you can get it now and take 36 months to pay with no interest. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more.
Class is in session.
We did it! FBI, show us your hand! Get down!
I do look extra cute today. Watch me do my thing.
Get into a new episode of The Rookie Feds, Tuesday, 9/10 Mountain, only on CTV.
Oh, it's going to be good. NFL playoffs continue Saturday with 2 divisional round games on tap. The Jaguars and Chiefs kick off the action, followed by a showdown between the Giants and Eagles. It all gets underway, 4:30 Eastern, 5:30 Atlantic on CTV, Canada's home for the NFL.
Big day Sunday
and
for me and
Carlo's
you.
going to be sweating because his Bills are taking on the Bengals, and that's a huge game. As we welcome you back inside Molson Export Canadians Hockey, Tessa, Carlo still with you. First intermission, let's talk about the first 3 minutes of that game, shall we? Holy Moses, a ton of chances for, well, mostly the Montreal Canadiens. Some grade A chances as well. Every goaltender's music to their ears is the sound of a post, and Bobrovsky liked it for a millisecond.
He sure did. And then, you know, the biggest story of the period is, what are we going to see? Is he going to come back? Is he not? But it's surprising that we're in a 0-0 game because of all the action we saw early on in that game. And it starts with Montreal early. They're on their toes. Hoffman makes a great play to the net. Anderson catches an unlucky break. His stick breaks. And Bobrovsky gets hurt. And then Alex Lyon has to come in and replace Bobrovsky. And in his first save, has to make a grade A scoring chance save on Cole Caulfield here. And here you see it in the 5G view as we rotate it. Has the whole upper net, and he makes an unbelievable save.
Unbelievable. What more could you ask from a cold goaltender coming in?
First save
stopping
here.
Cole Caulfield.
Don't ease your way into it. Here's a hard one.
You can watch this game using the TSN 5G view, powered by Bell 5G on the TSN app. Take control of the angle, zoom in and out, and rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G view. Also getting a great chance and hitting the post was Christian Dvorak. He's standing by with Kenzie Lalonde.
Christian, a lot of special teams early in that first period. How would you evaluate your team's power play so far?
We've had some looks. I think we need to be a little bit cleaner, though. We turned a couple pucks over, gave them a breakaway, obviously. So, yeah, we just got to clean up a little bit, but we had some chances. So, yeah, just keep going.
We go back to the start of that first period. Samuel Montembeault, some huge saves. How would you describe his play so far?
Yeah, he's been great so far. Obviously, he's been a wall for us lately. So, yeah, hopefully he keeps going. And, yeah, we just need to be a little bit better in front of him.
Yeah, Martin St. Louis has said your team works best when it's a 5-man unit. How would you evaluate your team's ability to do that so far?
Not too bad. I think we had a decent period. We still got to be a little bit better, stay out of the box. We don't want to give their PP too many looks. So, yeah, I think we still got a little bit room for improvement here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You heard him mention it. Sam Montembeault has been playing fantastic. Did stop a bunch of great chances, really just picking up where he left off, Carlo.
Yeah, it's really hard not to give praise to the Montreal Canadiens without mentioning the name Sam Montembeault, because he's been outstanding. And what this does for a team's confidence in front of him, it just allows him to play, you know, with more confidence. And you know, here early on in the game, you know, when Florida is getting their chances, he's just scrambling, he's making big saves, and just allowing Montreal to play with even more, you know, confidence with the puck and moving forward. So it's exactly what you want to see out of a goaltender. Him, and obviously what Ken Hughes said about him, and, you know, giving him a praise of, you know, being here, and they don't plan on trading him. That's got to help boost his play even more, too. And clearly he showed it for the first 20 minutes.
There's nothing wrong with accepting any and all compliments and confidence that's thrown your way. And, you know, Marty St. Louis mentioned as well, they're working on, you know, playing a solid defensive unit. And in that period, you saw one specifically, a moment where you were like, there it is.
Yeah, and it was late in the period where you had 5 guys on the ice, stuck on the ice on a long shift. And in situations like that in previous weeks, maybe you'd see them break down a bit. But here you got guys with tired legs. They're not chasing the puck. They're collapsing within the goaltender, playing 5-man unit, protecting the house, and just keeping Florida to the outside. And that's sort of something I've noticed difference in their game. Okay, here they give up a backdoor chance, but they don't panic. You know, they recover, each guy collapses to the net, and then here Michael Pezzetta, because of his effort, draws a penalty. So those are the little things right now that Montreal is doing that's finding success, limiting the goals that are scored against them. And if they can continue to do that with the saves that they're getting, you got to like their chances in each game.
Absolutely. And we mentioned off the top of our intermission that Sergei Bobrovsky did leave the game. We will continue to update you as we get information on his status, whether it is an injury or whether he just had some bad shows. We don't know. All right, we come back.
It's possible.
Insider trading. Rick Tocchet taking Bruce Boudreau's place? I'm not sure. We'll find out next.
With Eastside Mario's all you can eat, you manja, manja, manja.
Oh, Pop, they got more salad. Oh, Pop, they got more soup. Oh, Pop, they got more garlic home loaf. Manja, mama, manja. Hey, bada boo, bada bing.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Saeed, who asked Marc Olivier from Home Hardware how to replace a vanity without his father-in-law taking over. Or Hannah, who built an accent wall with Janine's help to show off the books she intends to read. Or Kim, who updated her kitchen with Jeffrey's advice, so it finally looks like it's from this century. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
What do you do if your child needs hospital treatment, but your family lives far away? Ronald McDonald House is a place for families to stay while their child is in hospital.
Some water?
Because when families stay together, sick children get stronger.
Come on, come on.
January 25th is Bell Let's Talk Day. Together, let's create positive change for mental health. Learn more at bell.ca/let's talk. It's a crazy thing once the rumor mill gets turning, isn't it? And I'm no insider, but correct me if I'm wrong. Rick Tocchet has a very great, fantastic, cushy job working 1 day a week for TNT. To leave that to go work for the Vancouver Canucks, I don't know. It just doesn't seem right.
Oh.
With more, though, again, I'm not an insider. Let's head to the insiders and James Duthie.
Your insiders, Chris Johnson, live at the rink, and Darren Drager. It feels awkward, uncomfortable, a little icky talking about Rick Tocchet being the next head coach of the Vancouver Canucks when Bruce Boudreau is still sitting there as the head coach of the Vancouver Canucks. But where are we? How close is it to happening, CJ?
Well, this now appears to be a question of when, not if, Rick Tocchet succeeds Bruce Boudreau as the coach of the Canucks. You know, Tocchet was very careful with his wording. He was on TNT's broadcast on Wednesday night, said he didn't have a contract with Vancouver. I would expect that to change at some point here in the next few days. It sounds as though negotiations have started on that deal, that Rick Tocchet will probably arrive in Vancouver with a couple additions to his coaching staff as well. And, of course, nothing's officially done 100% until pens have been put to paper. That hasn't happened yet, but it does sound as though it's getting very close.
Doesn't really help a player's trade value when the player being talked about has been a healthy scratch with the team he's playing for. What do you make of the situation with Matt Dumba and Minnesota Drakes?
Well, it's 100% performance-based, and the reality is Matt Dumba, as a veteran defenseman for the Wild, hasn't been good of late, and he was no good versus the Washington Capitals on Tuesday. So this is Dean Evason, the head coach, the latest head coach, to send a message to try and wake up a big-name, big-money player. We've seen it in Vancouver with Ekman Larsson. We saw it in Philadelphia with John Tortorella and Kevin Hayes. So I don't know if it's trend-setting, but there's more of a willingness to deliver that message. But there remains trade interest in Matt Dumba. He just has to get his game back on track.
A lot of buzz about Matt Dumba. Not any buzz really about Jake Muzzin, CJ, since he was hurt back in November. Where are we at as far as his status, the likelihood of him playing again for the Leafs or playing hockey again whatsoever?
Well, at this point, it doesn't sound like there's really been any developments. Jake Muzzin has remained, ever present around the Leafs, going on the road with them, being behind the scenes with the team. But in terms of, moving towards returning to play, there's nothing happening there. And that's newsy in itself, because the Leafs need to have clarity on his injury status when it comes to long-term injured reserve prior to the trade deadline, knowing for sure that he couldn't return this year in order to use that cap space perhaps in acquiring some of the deadline. It sounds as though some clarity there may be coming in the not-too-distant future. Muzzin is scheduled to see specialists again in February.
Evander Kane returning from that really scary wrist injury. That's great to see. The surprising part, Dregs, perhaps, was in the equipment he wasn't wearing.
Yeah, and that's the cut-resistant sleeves that are available in many forms. The expectation, given the severity of that wrist laceration that kept Evander Kane out of the Oilers lineup for quite some time, was significantly serious. So the expectation was, yes, he would have some form of protection on that sleeve. But as we can see, he did not have that on Tuesday. Now, Ilya Mikheyev, who suffered something similar back in his Toronto Maple Leaf days, I'm told does wear the cut-resistant sleeve. Perhaps Evander Kane reconsiders and wears them moving forward. But I do know that the NHL still intends on presenting to the general managers in March just the products that are available to try and prevent serious injuries like this.
Seems like an obvious for all players, not just the ones who've been through that, but we know that hockey players, perhaps more than any other athletes, creatures of habit and don't like change.
Since the dawn of game, a rivalry has divided men, and Team Smooth chooses Gillette Labs with exfoliating bar. Effortless shaving in one efficient stroke with a lifetime warranty. Choose your game face.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz.
Swiss Chalet is home to Canada's favorite rotisserie chicken. Our always fresh, mouth-watering chicken is slow roasted over an open flame to tender, juicy perfection. Right now, enjoy our quarter chicken dinner with a cup of delicious loaded potato soup for $15.99. Hurry in to Swiss Chalet.
A new year calls for a fresh start and a sale. The Home Hardware Renew Year sale is on now.
Save 20% on OmniMax heaters and save 20% on Beauty Tone Signature interior paint. Only at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes. Show your eyes things that are not taxes. Show your brain things that are not taxes. See if not taxes makes you laugh or cry. Come to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Meet with an expert who will do them for you. Intuit TurboTax.
AutoTrader has tons and tons of cars. You know, I like looking through the types of cars you can buy.
Using AutoTrader is such a no-brainer, which is good for Gio.
What?
The world is waiting.
You keep her alive, and you set everything right.
The president needs men of action.
Bend the rules. You trust me.
I'm going to build something better, meaner, wilder. I love it here. I love it.
Would you be interested in having an affair?
Name?
Special Agent Will Trent.
You just brought down a bunch of corrupt cops. That's kind of hot.
Will's my best agent. He can teach you to see things no one else does. There's a kidnapping. Why Will Trent?
He read that crime scene like a book.
You smell like urine to you? When people call you weird, I really do defend you. But you gotta help me out.
An all-new episode of Will Trent, Tuesday at 10, 8 Mountain, only on CTV. Stream on all your favorite devices.
All right, here's a look at what's going on around the league. The Toronto Maple Leafs and Winnipeg Jets tied at zeros. No score between the Hurricanes and the Wild as well. Blue Jackets with a 3-0 lead over the Anaheim Ducks in the first intermission. Olivier Roslovic and Blankenberg with the goals there. And the Bruins. How about that line of Pavel Zacha? Like, and he scored his 8th of the season with an assist from Krejci. This line is crazy. They're just heating up too. Anyway, speaking of heating up, this game's heating up.
Yeah.
Tons of chances in that first period.
We need goals in this game, Tess.
No goals, though. Panthers outshooting the Canadians 11-9. All right, let's get back to Brian and Sergio for second period action. Fellas, over to you.
Tessa, obviously one of the big storylines is Alex Lyon into the game. Sergei Bobrovsky left. The team on Twitter saying lower body injury, doubtful to return. So now we can tell you that the emergency backup is Patrick Chevrofis. He's a policeman with the city of Montreal. We're looking down, Sergio, so in our broadcast view to the left, we can see where the backup, the visiting backup usually sits. There's a stool there. There's no backup there right now, but what a story if Patrick Chevrofis could follow in the footsteps of a David Ayers or a Scott Foster back in the day. It could be quite the story tonight, as we'll keep you posted.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, he'll eventually sit there, I guess. So he hasn't come out yet. The trainer is sitting on that stool. Like, get him out there. Get him near the glass. What a thrill for him.
So Joel Edmondson in the box. 51 seconds remaining in his minor penalty. Underway here in the second period as we await our first goal. Florida on the power play. Montour to the right side for Ekblad. Ekblad will dish it back. A little bit of speed from Reinhart. Kachuk. Barkov. Reinhart's in front. Barkov goes far point. Ekblad thought about it. Back to the captain. Barkov Kachuk bounced right in front, and it was cleaned up by Anderson in time. As Montour was looking for an opportunity, Anderson, good job to ship it down the ice.
Well, Anderson's got his legs tonight. He had that early chance, go in the net, hit the post, and really good on that defensive play there.
Here comes Barkov. He'll drive, lead for Kachuk. Little give and go there. Barkov falls, pokes it to Montour. Back to Barkov. They'll flip it down low. Montour collects. Sends it across the drive, and Montembeault able to stop the shot from Kachuk. As Barkov, you know, a proud guy. Not the best start after the season he had last year offensively with Huberdeau, as they were a dynamic tandem. But Barkov now on a 5-game point streak, Sergio, 7 points during that 5-game run.
Yeah, Randy Moeller was mentioning that, you know, the Panthers struggled when he was hurt. Obviously, he's their top player, and now he's getting going, and he has to get going because this team, if they have any chance to make the playoffs, they need him going.
Right off the draw, good chance. Forsling fan on the shot is Randy Moeller, the color broadcaster for the Florida Panthers in town.
Oh yeah, we shared a lot of moments in front of the net with him cross-checking me when he played for the Nordiques.
As Lyon out to play it, so a good kill from Montreal to start the second period, back to 5-on-5. Here's Gudas in center ice. He gets doubled up by Edmondson and Harvey Pinard. Edmondson, Raphael Harvey Pinard through center ice. And Kirby Dach was in offside, so that'll be blown down.
And that's just the difference between the AHL and the NHL. I mean, Kirby Dach was open, but Harvey Pinard didn't see him there, and you could just see Kirby Dach kind of give a look back, but said, I was there, kid, but couldn't make the play in time, and that's why Dach ended up going offside. But they do make a change and get back to the Suzuki line.
Raphael Harvey Pinard, his 6th NHL games tonight, Sergio, played around 13 minutes in his season debut this year versus the Jets on Tuesday. Ullinen lost the puck as Jesse Ullinen back on it in his own zone for Kovacevic. Nick Suzuki had over 8 minutes of ice time. Suzuki did in that first period, and Savard just over 9. Kovacevic wanted Caulfield out of his reach, and icing charge to Montreal.
Well, it was interesting this morning when we were down there talking to Martin St. Louis in his press conference. And you asked him an interesting question. Who does Arber Xhekaj remind you of? I like that. And he was thinking about it, and he said Sheldon Surrey. It's not bad. Tough guy that can shoot the puck. I was thinking myself, who could it be? But
Arber's got a unique skill set, obviously. He fought Lowry in that game, and I asked him specifically about however Xhekaj's done in picking his spots in his rookie campaign on getting a dance partner. As Suzuki walks it in, drops it off, Ullinen, and right over the stick of Cole Caulfield that hopped on him, and Lundell the other way with Lomberg. Up the ice, intended for Ekblad. He was met by Arber Xhekaj. And he said Arber Xhekaj's done a great job at picking his spots, knowing when to fight, and he said Arber knew at the beginning of training camp he was good enough to play in the NHL. He doesn't have to fight, but it is a part of his skill set, and it makes him a tougher player. And Xhekaj's on the puck right now. 5 goals in his rookie season. Down for Kovacevic. Bennett took it away. Sam Bennett. He'll skate it out of his own zone through center ice. Bennett. Dvorak stick in the way, and then it bounced right to Montembeault, and he's going to hold 13 saves and counting for Samuel Montembeault.
you know, you just look back at this play with Xhekaj getting into the scrap with Lowry, and Marty St. Louis said, yeah, if he could play and also be tough, well, that's another good thing to have in the bag as well. So Arber Xhekaj stands up for his teammates, takes care of himself, and does a really good job.
A fan favorite in Montreal, no doubt, Arber Xhekaj.
Yeah, absolutely.
Matthew Tkachuk gloves it down, hits Bennett, high slot, wrapped up by Dvorak. It's poked ahead to Pezzetta. Nice pass to Evgeny Dadonov. He's got some space. Big hit, though, as Gudas lined him up. You talked about having your head on a swivel with number 7 out there, and Gudas, who's top 10 in NHL hits this year, got him pretty good there.
Yeah, clean hit. Dadonov got right back up.
As Dadonov, the former Florida Panther, taking the brunt of that. Gudas actually 13th all-time in NHL hits since they tracked that. Kachuk, wrister, in and out of the glove of Montembeault, and slashed out of harm's way by Mike Matheson. Dvorak, the backhand flip in. Pezzetta on Gudas as Pezzetta ties him up. Pezzetta had 11 hits in that game on Tuesday. Pass in front as Anderson was looking for it. Luostarinen. Pardon me, that was for Hagee. Kirby Dach at center ice, and Stahl and Barkov tangled up, allowing Hoffman to walk it in. Hoffman with the puck, he delays, sends it across. Matheson right in on Lyon, and he stopped it with Kirby Dach providing the screen. Up comes Mark Stahl. Delayed penalty coming up to Montreal as Lundell starting the play. Montour couldn't handle it. It comes to center ice, so Lyon to the bench, extra attacker out. And finally touched up by Montreal, so another opportunity on the power play here for Florida.
Montreal 77, 2 minutes for hooking.
Yeah, so it was Kirby Dach on that play, and I want to see the replay here. I wasn't sure. I know that he took the hit earlier on the shift, and then as the Panthers just trying to come out of the zone, you could see Kirby Dach with his stick there, and Canadians will have to defend once again.
Well, the Montreal Canadiens have taken the most penalty minutes this season in the National Hockey League. Florida right up there as well.
Florida right behind them. They're second.
So there has been opportunities as Luostarinen stick slashed out of his hands by Edmondson, who's trying to clear the puck. And Raphael Harvey-Pinard, he can't clear. He'll try again. Luostarinen, though, gave it away to Nick Suzuki. Nice little move right through Verhaeghe. Good job by the captain. Kovacevic in his own zone, delays, and then hammers it down the ice. Bounces right to Lyon, whipped on it. Harvey-Pinard in front, backhands Ryan. Lyon bailed himself out. Oh, Raphael Harvey-Pinard, what a chance in on Alex Lyon.
Yeah, good job by Harvey-Pinard. I mean, he just, he needs to skate, which he does well, and he's aggressive on this forecheck, and that puck ends up bouncing right for him. So Kovacevic throws it down the ice, and Lyon tried to pick it up, but it goes over his stick, and that's where Harvey-Pinard comes in there and does a little spinorama, and Lyon makes the save.
Harvey-Pinard, one career goal in the NHL. It was last year. He was third in scoring in Laval this year. And he was so excited when he was called up on Tuesday. I chatted with him Tuesday, and he knew he had an opportunity to do some penalty killing with the injuries. So obviously, Armia, Evans.
Yeah, and he was out there with Suzuki.
So good job from Raphael Harvey-Pinard. Here's Barkov. Back to Montour. He recovered and worked it in deep. Sam Reinhart. Barkov. Backhand feed Montour. Good job to hold it in. As the Panthers get set up with a power play. Matthew Tkachuk walking it in. Tkachuk. Backdoor feed. Ekblad. What a stop. Montembeault. Samuel Montembeault does it again.
Man, you got to love the crowd just getting into it. They appreciate how good he's playing.
A .952 save percentage over his last 4 games, and now 15 stops in this one. He has been dynamic.
I think they want to chant Montembeault. That's great.
Up comes Ekblad. 30 seconds left of the minor penalty to Kirby Dach. Barkov accepts. He'll drop it off for Tkachuk. Tkachuk, Ekblad. Ekblad. Montour gloves it down. Reinhardt set up in front. Pass to him, and the quick shot. Boy, they moved it quickly right to Reinhardt in front, and Montembeault was ready.
Yeah, Florida is definitely sharp. I mean, they have players that can score, they can skate, and they can move the puck. But Montembeault's been there. He made the earlier save on the one-timer, and then this play down low, a little tic-tac-toe. You see earlier the one-timer on Ekblad as Montembeault covers up with the right pad and then with the left pad on the rebound.
Last season, the Panthers, the first team since 95-96 to average more than 4 goals per game. They had scored a lot of their problems last year in winning the President's Cup trophy. And not that same offensive output this year as the pass across. Montembeault, follow-on try, score! Sam Reinhart had the wide open cage with 5 seconds left in the power play. They converted. It's 1-0 Panthers.
Well, you can only play with fire for so long, right, Brian? I mean, you mentioned that he made some great saves, and, you know, you just can't keep doing that. And on 5-on-5, they're fine, but, you know, on the kill, you give them another opportunity. This time they bury it. They move it back across. Montembeault makes a great save on the one hand going from right to left, but then the empty net, as you mentioned, right there, and Reinhart's not going to miss that.
Sam Reinhart, 14 on the season, now leads the Panthers, his 8th power play goal. And Montembeault was trying the Superman sprawl out to make the diving stop, and with 5 seconds remaining in that penalty to Doc, they strike. 18 saves for Samuel Montembeault in the game thus far.
I think there could be a challenge here.
There's a coach's challenge by Montreal to determine if there was goaltender interference prior to the goal.
So, Martin St. Louis, the challenge is on as you hear the call from Ghislain Hibert.
Well, it's Tkachuk who's there, and they're obviously saying that Montembeault couldn't get back into position to try to save that puck going into the net. So it'll be interesting. I'm done taking a guess. I've done it many times, and I just don't want to do it anymore.
So they just showed it on the Jumbotron here at the Bell Center. You know the fans' reaction, what that will be. What was your, be honest though, Sergio, I mean, what was your gut call?
Well,
initially watching that replay.
Yeah, looking at the replay, you know, like Tkachuk's in the blue paint. That's the thing. If he's on the outside, that's different, but I would have to agree with the Canadians on this one.
Sam Reinhart has done a great job on the power play, not only this year, but last year. He led the team with 16 power play goals. One more look, you see Montembeault try to dive across. Tkachuk, to your point, in the blue paint. It'll be interesting to see how the referees see it.
The only thing is, if they allowed it, because I think the puck was on, it might have been in the net already before he started to move, or it was very, very close. So we'll have to wait and see. Montembeault tried to get across and he couldn't, so that is for sure.
Referees for tonight's game, Jake Frank and Ghislain Hibert, as they continue to look at their iPad. Scott Cherry and Matt McPherson on the lines tonight.
Marty looking on pretty intense, as he knows if it goes the wrong way, they're going to have to kill another one.
Game 3 of a 3-game road trip for the Florida Panthers. Lost 5-4 in OT to the Leafs on Tuesday. They'll host the Wild on Saturday. And for Montreal, Game 2 of their 5-game homestand. That big 4-1 win versus the Jets. Dadonov had a pair. Anderson, Hoffman also scoring. Montembeault, as mentioned, just the 1 goal on 26 shots. He has been brilliant, beating Shesterkin, beating Hellebuck, as we continue to look this over.
Well, I think they finally made a decision. Yep.
And here's the call from Jake Brent.
Upon video review, the original call on the ice stands. We got a good goal.
So 1-0 Florida. Power play goal, Sam Reinhart, and the Florida Panthers back on the power play here in the second period.
So they must have, you know, decided that that puck was already in the net, even though Sam Montembeault tried to get across.
And you have to feel for Samuel Montembeault. He did all he could to try, dive, and get across. 0-2 in his career versus the team that drafted him with that 3rd-round pick back in 2015. Played 25 career games with the Florida Panthers. And you know it's been tough. The 2 losses, he gave up 12 goals in those 2 games, including that tough one back December 29th at Sunrise. But Samuel Montembeault, quality hockey. His last stretch of starts, his 6th start. And we'll see if the Montreal Canadiens now can get a big penalty kill and help him out here in the second period. So Florida on the power play. Edmondson hammers it in. Here's Barkov. He'll float it up the ice. Montour, the 1 touch, gets it back, but the pass behind him allows Dvorak to clean it up and clear.
Yeah, obviously a key moment for the Canadiens here that they need to kill this penalty off.
Aaron Ekblad through center ice, stops at the Habs logo, drops it off for Barkov. He'll move it to Reinhart. Hit a few skates to Savard. He'll bounce it to Edmondson. Edmondson the clear. So a good start here, as it is Cole Caulfield serving the bench minor for Montreal.
Yeah, that #1 unit for Florida, they're not going to change just yet.
Reinhart again. Tkachuk. Yes, Tkachuk. Lost the puck. Suzuki. He's got some runway. Nick Suzuki shoots off the side of the net. Suzuki again. Flips in front. Hit the stick of Lyon. And a good job, because Talk would have been all alone in front. Tkachuk to the right-hand side. In front for Ekblad. Ekblad. Montour back to Ekblad. Barkov goes down low. Tkachuk behind the net. Matthew Tkachuk. Reinhardt's in front. Barkov. Montour. Ekblad. Montour. One-time drive. Rebound in front. Tkachuk found on it. And Suzuki unable to clear. What a chance for Tkachuk. Here's Reinhardt. Up top. Ekblad. Touch pass Montour. Barkov. 25 seconds left of the minor penalty. Barkov down low, and they wanted that pass to Reinhart, and it went right through him all the way down to Lyon.
Well, the Canadiens will take that. They get to make a change. All 4 players hop off the ice.
Forsling for Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe weaving in, drops it back. Up top, Forsling, down low, tip, score! Sam Bennett, beautiful redirection with just 3 seconds left in the power play as the Florida Panthers go back-to-back with a man advantage. It's 2-0.
Yeah, and that one hurts. That's just bad. You mentioned only 3 seconds left. It looked like it was going to happen. They finally get the change. The puck goes down the ice. The other unit comes on the ice to defend, but they just can't defend long enough to kill it off. And it's just the Verhaeghe with his speed comes up in the middle of the ice. So the Canadiens back up, and Pezzetta tries to get there too late. They move it down to Bennett for the deflection, and he scores to make it 2-0. So that challenge hurts the Canadiens, and now they're down a couple. So lots to happen here. 22 shots to 11 for the Panthers, and a 2-0 lead.
Sam Bennett, power play goal, his 11th of the season. 2-0 Florida. As Mahura shoots it in. Cousins giving chase. Barron plays to Jackeye. There's Caulfield. He'll throw it into space. Barron. Arbor Jackeye with Cousins in pursuit. Barron in the corner. He'll take a hit from Denisenko. Justin Barron trying to get away from Gregory Denisenko. Good job by Denisenko, but he gave it back to Barron. Gudas reaching for it. The nudge on Caulfield. He shoots it in. Up the right wing for Raphael Harvey-Pinard. And there's Josh Mahura backpedaling. Cousins for Mahura. Mahura over the line. Leaves for Bennett. Bennett back to Mahura. Jackeye, big hit on him as he knocks him into the glass.
Oh, that was nice and solid. Clean, though.
The team leader in hits, Arbor Jackeye, delivers another one as Cousins kicks that down in center ice for Tkachuk. Tkachuk, Cousins, look out, he had his head down as Hoffman chose not to hit him. Hoffman. In his own zone, Mike Hoffman will set up behind Samuel Montembeault, who's made 20 saves through half the game as we're officially halfway through. Good speed, Anderson winding it up with Hoffman. Anderson takes play far boards. Mark Stahl leaves it behind the net. Doc reaching for the puck as Bennett tries to skate away. Mark Stahl in his own zone. Up for Kachuk. It bounced on him right to Anderson, who drives play in. Anderson, Kirby Dach in front. And it's played up to Jordan Harris. Harris walks the line. Rister tipped in front. Lyon looked behind him with Anderson right in front of the goalie. Kirby Dach spinning around behind the net. Dach has Pezzetta in front. Backdoor feed. Edmondson was cutting in. It was broken up. Yevgeny Dadonov in front. Edmondson the tip. Still loose. Edmondson lurking around the big man trying to tip one home. Pezzetta to Harris. Jordan Harris as that one hit Kachuk, but Harris just holds it in. Dadonov behind the net. Yevgeny Dadonov in front. A good shot block stall as Dvorak let it go. Pezzetta picks it up. Pezzetta at the line. Flips it back. Dvorak. Cross ice Pezzetta. Edmondson chips it back to him. Montour. And the Panthers are gassed. They need a change and finally able to squirt it out to center ice.
Yeah, I'm not sure they can still change it. It's a long change here in the second period. Canadians back on the forecheck.
Dadonov on the puck. Florida got a couple of fresh legs out. As Lundell, one of those players, able to jump on the ice for Hagee. And behind the play, Caulfield got clipped. Cole Caulfield got clipped, and we got a penalty coming up. So a chance for the Montreal Canadiens to get back in the game on the power play when we return to the Bell Center.
I wonder how fast Bell's 5G network is.
As fast as a hawk?
That's pretty fast, but it's faster. What about a train?
And the train has turbosonic rockets.
And it's a spaceship.
That merges with a mega cryometeor.
And can go hyperspeed. Whoa.
Bell 5G. It's really, really fast.
Here at the Nissan Institute of Thrillology, we have excitement down to a science. And today we're looking at the cold hard data on cold weather convenience. All-wheel drive confidence and premium comforts to keep you warm through the storm. That's the power of Thrillology.
And now during the Nissan Thrillology sales event, lease select 2023 Rogue models for 4.49% for 24 months OAC.
Get that Ojo feeling with big progressive jackpots, no playthrough requirements, and all wins paid in cash, restriction free.
Feel the fun, play Ojo.
So Giovanni Smith in the box after clipping Cole Caulfield. Opportunity here, Sergio, for Montreal.
Well, we just talked about it off air. They don't deserve to be down 2-0. They've played a good game, but obviously those power plays and the call that they challenged has cost them. And Canadians, if they can here to get a goal, would be great for this hockey game because they've played a pretty good game.
Montreal 0 for 3 on the power play versus the Jets. A few chances in this game. Another opportunity right now as Suzuki has the puck. Little backhand feed up for Matheson. Matheson, Suzuki walks it in front. He wanted the tip from Dvorak. He just missed. Matheson over to Suzuki. Suzuki, Cole Caulfield shot. Oh, Lyon reached out and stopped it. Two unbelievable saves in the game on Cole Caulfield. Caulfield in the corner, trying to spin away from Ekblad. Up to Matheson. Suzuki. Near circle. Suzuki. Dvorak. Docks in front. Up for Matheson. Matheson goes to Caulfield. Cole Caulfield. Waiting. Shooting. Raises the bar. Back on the puck is Caulfield. Suzuki. Good chances here from Montreal. Cole Caulfield. Matheson has some space. Down low, in front is Dvorak trying to jam it in. Hit the stick of Ekblad and out of play. My goodness, Alex Lyon having a game coming in cold for Bobrovsky. Look at that smile.
No kidding. Why wouldn't you smile? I mean, one of the hottest shooters in the league, and it's Cole Caulfield. And what a pass by Suzuki across. It ends up going through the legs, and then Alex Lyon comes and makes that save. As I mean, he's diving.
Wow.
With the glove.
Unbelievable.
Looked like Dominic Hasek there.
Absolute highlight of the night type saves, both on Cole Caulfield. Minute remaining in the minor penalty to Smith. Is Dadonov on the move? Good hustle as Ulanen kept it in momentarily, but it's right to Bennett. Bennett for Mark Stahl, and he'll deliver down the ice. Unbelievable stuff from Alex Lyon. That was awesome. Here's Dadonov to Anderson. A little burst of speed. Drops for Hoffman. Hoffman using the boards up to Barrett. Ulanen. Feeds it up top. Dadonov in front. Anderson. Two big saves on Josh Anderson by Lyon. Hoffman on the puck as Gudas was cross-checked in front. And a penalty coming up, and Josh Anderson can't believe it.
Montreal 17, 2 minutes for cross-check.
I mean, they were battling in front of the net. I was watching Gudas and Anderson, but what a play earlier by Dadonov. He gets the puck in the middle of the ice, and then he makes the feed across, and then Anderson maybe a little bit frustrated. Gudas goes down a little bit quickly, I would say, or easily. And obviously the fans are not happy with that, looking at that replay where Lyon comes across and Anderson just couldn't elevate that puck over the pad. And Alex Lyon, wow, has he made a difference tonight. Problem is now the Canadians, after this 4-on-4, they're going to be shorthanded again.
Alex Lyon, undrafted player, as we mentioned, earned himself after a great performance in the AHL. That one-year, two-way deal with Bill Zito, and with Bobrovsky hurt, Spencer Knight's already on the injured reserve, so what a chance for him, and he's making the most of it at the Bell Center tonight. Just the one win last year in 2 games with Carolina. Edmondson, he'll drop it back. So now it's the Florida Panthers an opportunity to pad their lead as they are on the power play. Wrist shot, Montembeault is going to settle it down, and he will hold for his 21st save of the night. And a real story brewing here in Alex Lyon. Sensational stuff.
Well, he's definitely made a difference, no question about that. I mean, the Canadians can't believe they haven't had a goal yet. A couple of big saves on one-timers from Caulfield, and then another close one, a couple on Anderson.
Keep in mind, starting next year, they're going to pay Bobrovsky and Spencer Knight, what, around $14 million just on goaltending. And right now, anyways, both goalies not healthy, and Alex Lyon, his turn to shine. So 2 power play goals already for Florida in the game, and they got a minute 15 remaining in the minor to Anderson. Here's Barkov. Kachuk. Barkov round the boards as Reinhart will leave it. Then he gets it in the corner. Sam Reinhart for Barkov. He'll keep it moving. Kachuk up top. Montour. Kachuk delays, shoots, stop Montembeault. Kachuk for Barkov. Barkov stick handling, gets it back. Montour. Back to Barkov. Barkov floats it in one at the Kachuk tip. Ekblad's in deep. Ekblad using the boards for Montour. 35 seconds left in the minor penalty. Ekblad walks it in, shoots, and that hit Kachuk. Back up top for Montour. Montour shoots, tip in front, score! Matthew Kachuk cleans it up. Another power play goal, and it's 3-0 Florida. As I don't know if Kachuk, if his skate blade came off, he was grabbing at something as an equipment during that whole sequence in front of Montembeault. Then he cleans up the mess. Power play goal for his 23rd of the season. Equipment malfunction, no problem for Matthew Tkachuk.
No problem, and that puck gets tipped by Reinhart on the way there, and that's where Montembeault had to make the big save.
His skate guard, Sergio, that's what it was. It was off on his left skate, and he was got to play with it for about 10 seconds in front of the net and was rewarded anyway. So the malfunction, no problem, back of the net. Power play goal for Matthew Tkachuk as the All-Stars made it 3-0. Five minutes remaining in this second period, and the Florida Panthers have taken momentum now in this game. Arbor Jacki lost the puck as Denisenko at the line. Denisenko still with it. He'll leave for Gudas towards the net, just missed wide. Cousins picks it up. Tries that backhand feed in front. Luostarinen able to get it to Denisenko. Denisenko, Luostarinen couldn't get the shot away. It's backhanded into the corner. Here's Cousins maneuvering on Jacki. Popped in front, and Denisenko taken down as he coasted in. Habs trying to clear, and Evgeny Dadonov able to do just that. Dadonov. Habs would have been offside. They got to check up as the pass in Dadonov skates. Cousins for Luostarinen. Luostarinen drops it back for Gudas as the Panthers changing. And that wrist shot right in front, score! Giovanni Smith off the bench into the back of the net as he gets his first goal as a Florida Panther.
Well, I mean, the third goal hurt, but this one really gives the Panthers a huge lead at 4-0, and everyone's up on the bench as the fourth liner gets the goal. It's a scramble in front, and Smith is right there for the empty net. And it's just a play where they move it. Gudas moves it down low. Smith takes the shot, and then the puck comes loose in the skates, and he finds the empty net. And what a turnaround in this game as Cousins is in front, and Harris is looking for the puck. He doesn't know where it is. And by the time he sees it, it's too late. Smith puts it in.
So Giovanni Smith, 2 assists as a Panther. He's got his first goal now. Played 2 games for the Wings this season, then traded to Florida for Michael Del Zotto in that deal. And he's got his first. Wearing that uniform, so 4-0 Florida as Montembeault out to play it. Smith finishing his body check on Matheson. Kovacevic sends it into the zone. Lundell looking for Markstall. He's got a retreat. There's Suzuki looking for Ullinen. Smith picks it up, chips it down the ice, right to Kovacevic. So the power play for Florida deadly in this second period, and then Giovanni Smith.
And Lomberg and going after Matheson at the bench.
All the way, Sergio. They were chatting the entire way. Lomberg's now gone off. Matheson's still out there.
Obviously for that hit on Eric Stahl.
Too many men. As a tough night continues for the Montreal Canadiens.
People say that at Napa Auto Pro, if we get your parts so fast, it's because we have a special connection with our parts supplier. It's true.
Napa Auto Pro.
It's true.
With dementia, you're adrift. By combining research with a full spectrum of care, Baycrest is pioneering breakthroughs. No other organization leads more researchers working to defeat dementia. We believe 50% of dementia cases can be prevented, but we need your help. Donate now, and together, we'll create a future without fear. Fun. Intelligence. Drive. They run in the family. Corolla.
Great start for the Florida Panthers, now up 4-0. And these gentlemen here all taken second overall in the National Hockey League. Stahl, Barkov, and the most recent in 2014, obviously Sam Reinhart getting a goal in this one. Sam Bennett actually taken 4th overall by the Flames way back in 2014, which brings us to the TSN 5G view.
Yeah, and if you look at that, Bennett is the one that ends up scoring that goal in the empty net where Sam Montembeault tried to get across.
You can watch this game using the TSN 5G view, powered by Bell 5G on the TSN app. Take control of the angle, zoom in, out, or rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G view for more info.
And that's where the game started to change right after that, right? They allow that goal, then they get the power play right after that and score again. And then Canadians keep taking penalties, and now they're in the box for too many men on the ice.
And we're still waiting for a player to get in the box. They've all lined up for the face-off, but they actually need a Montreal player to serve the bench minor. As we got that sorted out, and it will be Jesse Ylönen who will take a seat for 2 or less, as the Panthers have been dynamite tonight on the power play. And they'll look to pad that lead, already up 4-0. Here's Forsling at the line. He'll work it across. As Verhaeghe wrist shot, and that grazed a bit of the pipe and then out of play. Might have hit a bit of the stick, but the Florida Panthers trying to pad their lead here. Under 3 to go in this second period.
Well, their players came to play. We knew that, you know, the heat was on for them. They needed to collect these points. And Randy Moy was talking about the games that they didn't pick up points against the lower teams, let's say. Arizona and Anaheim, I believe. So they knew that they had to be ready for this game against the Canadians, and they have.
As the Florida Panthers, for the second time in their history, will host the All-Star festivities in early February. Here's Lundell. He'll drop it back for Forsling, as Lundell was tangled up with Kirby Dach. They're both back on their skates. In comes Verhaeghe. Verhaeghe lost the puck as Savard got dumped, and Montreal able to clear. And there's a lot of conversations and some bad blood going on here in this game. And it was the same story, Sergio, during that tough loss where they gave up 7 on December 29th.
No, you're right. This game has been feisty.
Forsling. Pass bouncing over his stick. He'll jam it in off the boards. Verhaeghe able to knock it down. Feeds Forsling for Bennett. Bennett walks in, shoots. Hit a stick, went wide. Verhaeghe picks it up. Verhaeghe delays. Bennett was cutting in. Couldn't get it clean. Anderson trying to break in. Josh Anderson with Dvorak. Dvorak in, reaching for it. Couldn't get a stick on it. 40 seconds left in the bench minor.
Again?
Another too many men call right in front of the Habs bench. And they just were called for it. Going to be 5-on-3 with 38 seconds.
Penalty. Too many men on the ice.
Yeah, Marty St. Louis, he just has his hand over his eyes right now. It's just, after that 4th goal, everything got from bad to worse as they take 1 too many men. And then again, I was wondering why that whistle was blown, and now we know why.
So there's 3. 1 out of screens, so there's 5 on the ice, and obviously someone hopped on to make it 6, but they called it, I mean, right at the red line, right in front of the Habs bench. So it's a 5-on-3 now, as Harris will go to the box to serve that bench minor. And off the draw, it's Montour on the puck. Gets it back from Ekblad. Montour waiting, delivers, shoots. Montembeault, good right pad stop. Ekblad dishes down low. Good chuck back to Ekblad. And Savard clears. That did hit something, so it's not to play a game. Could you imagine?
I wouldn't.
It's just been going that way.
Yeah, the way it's been going when it goes from bad to worse. And Still got 18 seconds on that 5-on-3 to deal with.
So the captains will line up. Barkov, Suzuki. Clean win, Barkov. Back to Ekblad. Montour. Montour goes to the captain. Barkov. Barkov gets it back, space. Thought about shooting. One-timer to Ekblad, and he shot it right through the blue paint. Barkov wanted Ekblad. Suzuki, good block. Montour has Ulonen's out. Ekblad, Montour, back to Ekblad. So now 5-on-4. Final minute, Bell Center, second period, 4-0 Panthers. And they strike late again. Good shot for Barkov. Barkov, Kachuk. Reinhardt's in front. Reinhardt has it. Goes back to Kachuk. He'll walk it and shoots. Score! Second of the period. Matthew Kachuk having a game. Power play goal, and it's 5-0.
Yeah, I mean, this is just getting from bad to worse. Like we mentioned, too many men on the ice, penalties in a row. And the Panthers score another one on the power play. Their 4th of the game, the 2nd of Kachuk, as he scores from that right side. As Montembeault looking over, trying to see as Barkov is in front of the net. And as he looks over, that puck goes right off the post on blocker side.
That is a perfect shot from Matthew Kachuk. 24 on the season now as he continues to lead the way offensively for the Florida Panthers. A perfect shot as he signed his 8-year deal at 9.5 per, and he has done it all in season number 1 as a Florida Panther. So 5-0 Florida, 40 seconds left in this second period. Montembeault tries to leave it for Barron. Turned over, Luostarinen. Denisenko taken down by Hoffman. Mahura works it in for Luostarinen. Wanted Denisenko. Good job, Rem Pitlick took it away. Pitlick will leave for Arbor Jacki. And a tough hit as Denisenko lined him up and hit Arbor Jacki right in the numbers into the boards. And you know Arbor Jacki is going to take a number, and that number is Gregory Denisenko.
And no call. I mean, I was looking at both referees, and Jacki coming over to talk to one of them. It's not going to happen, but good thing is that he got up.
Sergio, isn't this reminiscent, though, of the game in Florida? I mean, in that third period, you know, it got a bit out of hand.
Yep.
Edmondson, Gallagher combining for 30 penalty minutes. So there's the hit. I mean,
they call the one on Anderson on Gudas, and you don't call that. And that's why the games get out of hand.
Lundell chips it into the corner. And just thankfully, Arbor Jacki, more importantly, is okay. He's out there right now. And that'll do it. So 5-0 Florida, and yeah, it's just hot right now. You can see it. This was coming as Giovanni Smith. There's literally 3 Panthers around the big man as Arbor Jacki is trying to be freed up and released.
And that's the referee's fault. He didn't make that call, and it's just going to happen now, and it's going to happen in the third period.
And it's still going on as Arbor Jacki is hot. Now he's talking with Mark Stahl. Giovanni Smith continues to engage. And with 20 minutes to come, Sergio, I don't think we've seen the last of this.
No, I think you're right.
It's the second of 4 meetings, Sergio, this season. 2 more to come after this game. You can just feel the bad blood is brewing. As Matthew Kachuk, he has been an impact player again in this game. A couple of power play goals. 4 on the power play for Florida. On Most and Expert Canadians Hockey on TSN, we'll step aside. Intermission coming up next with Tessa, Carlo Kenzie, and Arpin Basu. We'll stop by as well from The Athletic.
Get closer to hockey than ever before with the NHL app.
He's done it again!
Closer to the names you know.
Sidney Crosby!
And need to know.
Great save by Archer! Sebastian scores!
Closer to the moments that count. And the ones that don't.
Slick Nick does it again!
Closer to all the games. Get closer to everything you love about hockey with the NHL app.
What do you do if your child needs hospital treatment, but your family lives far away? Ronald McDonald House is a place for families to stay while their child is in hospital.
Some water?
Because when families stay together, sick children get stronger.
Come on, come on.
Don't miss the final weekend of the Brick store-wide inventory clearance. Save up to 60% off in-store clearance items. Plus, you can get it now and take 36 months to pay with no interest. See it all online at thebrick.com, saving you more.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes. Show your eyes things that are not taxes. Show your brain things that are not taxes. See if not taxes makes you laugh or cry. Come to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Meet with an expert who will do them for you. Intuit TurboTax.
Yeah, looking like $1,000,000, like an upgrade to deluxe. We playing by our own rules, playing by our own rules. Show that style, spot that style, show that style. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it.
Will inflation just keep inflating?
What is early retirement now?
GIC or TFSA? So many acronyms.
Is it too late to start investing?
Am I covered for a rainy day? No, I just need to invest in some earplugs.
Grand Slam early round coverage is on now. Catch tennis's biggest stars in action at the Australian Open from the first serve to match point. Don't miss a minute of the action right here on TSN Plus. Stream bonus court coverage on TSN Plus. As we welcome you back in studio, Molson Expert Canadians Hockey, Tessa and Carlo still with you. Well, at the beginning of the second period when we were reading over the scoreboard and we said we need more goals, this isn't necessarily what we were talking about or asking for. Nonetheless, this is what took place. Let's talk about that first goal. It was an unfortunate penalty, and literally we had said as soon as the penalty happened, it's tough to take a call in your own zone against a team that has that much offensive prowess.
Yeah, and that's when the game got away from the Montreal Canadiens. It was the parade to the penalty box. And, you know, as good as they've been defensively, they haven't really been shooting themselves in the foot. Well, here, Kirby Dach takes an offensive zone penalty, and this is just when things start to go off the rail. They have to try to kill a penalty, and clearly they couldn't because, you know, they finally get one past Montembeault, who's been spectacular and, you know, all game. But what does that do with this goal? It sparks a controversy.
Yeah, what'd you think? Goal? No goal? Did they get it right?
Well, we talked about it. I think they did get it right.
Okay.
Montreal fans might not want to hear that, but if you look at Montembeault, when he makes a save, he's outside of his crease. And because Matthew Tkachuk, his momentum is carried into his crease on the original play, when the puck goes already in the net, it's already past Montembeault to try to make a save. So I do believe they got the call right, but that's when things just decided to go off the rails even more for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, 4 power play goals for the Florida Panthers in that game. I mean, is this where the game actually took off? Was, you know, challenging that and then them getting a second penalty?
Well, the goalie interference topic has been a spicy one across the NHL because nobody really knows what it is. And you can't blame Marty St. Louis for challenging that because maybe there was a case for it to be called back. But because it wasn't called back, they go back to the penalty box. Florida throws their power play out again. And they find a way to extend their lead and really take control of this game. And, you know, Montreal did a good job collapsing there. But again, it's a good play that Montreal makes, 3 passes. And beats Montembeault again, who's been really, really good. And from there on in, it was just, you know, more penalties, more prey to the box, and then now the game's just completely got away from them.
Yeah, I was going to say, you almost feel so bad for Montembeault because he's been fighting and playing so hard in the net, and it was just a parade of power plays for the Florida Panthers, and all of a sudden they're down 5-0. But you can't really scoff or shake your head at Alex Lyon as well at the other end of the ice. He's been fantastic, quite frankly, the story of the game.
And the biggest story of the game, because he came in less than 2 minutes into the game. He was probably hoping to dive into some Shen shows during this game as the backup, but he comes in, and just look at the saves this guy's making. I mean, even when the game was 0-0, this was his first save of the game against Caulfield, and it had to be a game-saver one across the crease. And then here's another one here. He sprawls across. He's just highlight reel material. And good for him. Like you can see this smirk on his face. Hasn't been in the NHL for a long time. But clearly a story in this game, because even when the game was close, he made some big saves for Florida. And now he's looking at his first win as a Panther.
And looking like he's having a lot of fun doing it as well. Matthew Tkachuk having himself quite the game. I mentioned off the top of the show before the game started that he had no points against the Toronto Maple Leafs. He must have heard that and got real upset because he's got 2 on the night. His first goal is our 5G view. You want to break that one down for us?
It's either that or it's the jerseys. Apparently people are cursing the jerseys.
It is the jerseys. I said it too.
Yeah. Well, here on the 5G look, it's Montour, you know, towing the line, and Tkachuk in his office, you know, banging in the rebound, and he had a skate malfunction there, but it didn't really matter.
Did not hinder a thing. You can watch this game using the TSN 5G view powered by Bell 5G on the TSN app. Take control of the angle, zoom in and out, and rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G view for more info. All right, we come back. Kenzie Lalonde will be joined by Arpon Basu. They're going to talk about Ken Hughes and the meeting he had with the media the other day.
Something truly one of a kind. Something so well crafted belongs behind glass. So here you go. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time.
Now at Burger King, get 2 sandwiches for just $5. The original chicken sandwich or the extra long cheeseburger. Or you can mix and match. 2 sandwiches for just $5 until January 22nd at Burger King.
When you take a corner in a Nissan, there's about 1 billion miles of motorsport history cornering with you. When you put your foot down in a Nissan, you'd better hang on tight. Because any vehicle with one of these stamped on it borrows from what we've learned on the track and delivers thrills at every turn. This is the new Nissan.
Once you meet with a TurboTax expert who will do your taxes for you, you're free to do not taxes. Show your eyes things that are not taxes. Show your brain things that are not taxes. See if not taxes makes you laugh or cry. Come to TurboTax and don't do your taxes. Meet with an expert who will do them for you. Intuit TurboTax.
Online betting is booming. Booyah! Woo! Oh yeah! You can win big! But you could also lose. There is risk with online gambling, and that's a reality nobody's shouting about. Learn about safer play at knowtherisks.ca.
Molson Export Canadians hockey continues Tuesday with a showdown between the Bruins and the Habs. Tune in at 7 Eastern, 8 Atlantic on TSN, available in the Habs region. All right, here's what's going on around the league. Toronto taking on the Jets. Second period, 2-0 Leafs. Toronto shorthanded. Mark Scheifele loses the puck at the blue line to Mitch Marner, and Mitchie makes him pay.
Wow.
Right?
Top chisel on Hellebuck, too. Wow.
Not too bad. His second shorthanded goal of the season, 3-zip Leafs. Bruins Rangers, second period, once at Boston. Brad Marchand goes cross ice to Patrice Bergeron, scores.
This is their third game in 4 nights, and they just continue to just find an unbelievable level of play.
Bergeron's 17th, they're up 2-0. Isles Sabres, first period, Anthony Beauvillier finds Brock Nelson in front, tips that one home. His 16th opens the scoring. This game's tied at 1s. As we take a look at some other scores from around the league. Hurricanes leading the Wild 3-1. Burns, Brady Shea, and Teravainen. Teravainen had an amazing goal.
That was a Bonhomme goal.
Yeah, was it? I don't know. I don't know what highlights you've been watching. That sounds like a lie. As you saw, Bruins leading the Rangers. Predators and Blues, 0s in the first intermission. Lightning and Oilers waiting to get underway. That one going in just 3 minutes time. All right, enough waiting around. Let's join Kenzie and Arpin.
It was a busy day in Brassard yesterday, Tessa, as Kent Hughes held a mid-season press conference. He pulled back the curtain on a few things, Arpin. He kind of expressed his interest in having Kirby Dach as a center long-term. Samuel Montembeault interested in not having him leave anytime soon, and also kind of his open-door policy when it comes to discussing trade rumors with players. But I think there was one thing everyone was kind of interested to learn a little bit more about, is that balance between winning and losing. What did you take away from it?
Well, I mean, balance was like the overarching theme of the day for Kent Hughes. I think it felt like he came in intentionally wanting to do that, and there are a lot of things that the Canadiens have to balance. You know, the balance between, trying to create a competitive environment versus a losing culture, the balance between young players and old players, and the balance between winning games and picking high in the 2023 draft. This is something that the Canadiens would like to be able to do, but they want to go at it organically. So he said something that was pretty remarkable, actually. He was asked a question about that balance between winning games and picking high in the draft, and he said at one point he told Martin St. Louis that, winning is good to a certain point, losing is not good to a certain point. And his point was in answering a question about the draft. So this morning I asked Marty about it, and, he didn't quite take it the same way. He struck the balance between winning but still developing your players. And if you're losing but you're developing your players, then it's not so bad. And so I think there's merit to both of them. I do think there's some truth to what Kent Hughes said. It's obviously not Martin St. Louis' reality, nor is it the players. I asked Nick Suzuki the same question, and he said, I like to win. I hate to lose. The players, that's not their problem. I understand management thinking about it that way, but it's really not our problem. So I think it was the first time we've ever heard anyone in management actually bluntly say it that way, but it's been a reality all season for the Canadiens.
I mean, there is that, of course, benefit to losing, which is a draft lottery. And as we look ahead to 2023, the Montreal Canadiens have 11 picks right now. They have one to thank for the Florida Panthers and Ben Sherratt. What do you make of how that'll kind of stir the pot here for the Montreal Canadiens moving forward?
Well, it makes games like this interesting, right? I mean, everyone in Montreal is going to be watching the Florida Panthers very closely all season because of that first-round pick, unprotected first-round pick, which was really a faux pas by Panthers GM Bill Zito in making that deal. You'd think he'd put lottery protection on it, but he never thought the Panthers would be in this situation. So Paul Maurice was asked about it this morning, and he claimed to have no idea that the Panthers' first-round pick belonged to the Montreal Canadiens. And so much like Marty St. Louis with the whole Kent Hughes question, I'm going to have to kind of call you on that one, Paul Maurice, because he later went on to say how him and Bill Zito sit around talking about other teams and their lineups and everything. However, this somehow never came up. The fact that they're not in a playoff spot, the fact that the Canadiens have their pick, and that pick could wind up in the lottery and could wind up being number 1 overall never crossed his mind. So I'm going to guess that he actually does know that, and it's just an added layer of motivation for them to make the playoffs. But it's going to be a tough road for them. They have a lot of teams that they need to leapfrog. They have a tough schedule because the division-heavy schedule starts from now. So you got Toronto a lot, Tampa a lot, Boston a lot, and, well, Montreal a lot. So they can control their own fate to some extent by playing the Panthers and beating them.
Well, we do know a few things for sure. The Montreal Canadiens do have 2 first-round picks right now, and we just still have one more period of hockey. So, Tessa, we'll send it back to you.
Hey, Kenzie. Panthers up 5-0. The Canadiens 1 period to make it right. We'll have more from Brian and Sergio when we come back.
At Kruger, we understand the power of assists. We wondered if kids do too.
An assist is
you pass the puck to a player who then scores a goal.
And it's also kind of like helping people. It's sort of like a sacrifice. It feels good. You want to do it again and again to be better in the world.
When our families and communities need it, the Kruger Big Assist helps keep our kids on the ice.
You can't have hockey without assists.
Nominate your hockey association at KrugerBigAssist.ca.
If your New Year's resolution includes saving money, Then you don't want to miss the final weekend of the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 60% off in-store clearance items, plus store-wide savings in every department. Furniture, mattresses, brand name appliances, and select big screen TVs. Plus, you can get it now and take 36 months to pay with no interest. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more.
Winter is less scary in a Subaru with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Welcome to uncommon winter capability.
My daughter loves reading. It's like her happy place. It turns out this is something she shares with her great aunt, Florence Morel. Books were Florence's happy place too. I discovered on Ancestry that Florence had a book published before she came to Canada. Once she settled here, she became a teacher and was able to keep sharing her stories with her students. Get to know your family story. Get started for free at Ancestry.ca.
If your New Year's resolution includes saving money, then you don't want to miss the final weekend of the store-wide inventory clearance at the Brick. Save up to 60% off in-store clearance items, plus store-wide savings in every department. Furniture, mattresses, brand name appliances, and select big screen TVs. Plus, you can get it now and take 36 months to pay with no interest. Finally, a resolution you can keep. The Brick, saving you more.
Not the second period. The Montreal Canadiens wanted nonetheless. This is where they are, down 5-0 with 20 minutes to respond. What kind of response can we expect? Specifically from Arbor Jackeye? Let's find out. We'll go to Brian and Sergio.
That's a real tough second period for the Montreal Canadiens. Obviously, a few questionable hits and maybe calls. I think back to that game December 29th where the Habs lost 7-2. Now, Sergio, I checked really quickly. I didn't see you win any Lady Bings during your career at all, but what do you make as a former player when a game starts to look like this?
Well, unfortunately, that call on Anderson where Gudas went down, I mean, that leads to another goal, so that's frustrating. And then, you know, because of the power play, they've taken over this game, and then Jackeye gets hit from behind, and they don't call that. So you saw what happened at the end of the period. Jackeye was getting involved. Smith came in there, and there was a big, kind of a little bit of a melee in the middle of the ice. So I think this will continue in the third period. There's some bad blood out there. The Stahl's been hit by Matheson as well. They're not happy about that. So it just continues here tonight, and obviously the score doesn't help as well. So interesting third period coming up.
Marty St. Louis talked about picking your spots for Jackeye in your rookie season for fighting. This might be a spot, no?
I think this I don't think he even has to tell him. Because he must be in that dressing room right now, ready to go.
Send it back to you, Tessa.
I don't think Arbor even went to the locker room. He probably just stood there waiting the entire time. Here's what took place in that second period.
He's there
play.
punching the wall, getting himself ready to go to the ice.
4 power play goals for the Florida Panthers. Kachuk getting 2 in that period as the Panthers absolutely outduo the Canadiens in that period, outshooting them 22-7. Sam Montembeault not in net to start the third period. Caden Primo between the pipes for the Montreal Canadiens. Like this, let's get back inside the Bell Center for that third period of play and rejoin Brian and Sergio. Fellas, over to you.
Tessa, just the second time in franchise history the Montreal Canadiens allow 4 power play goals in a single period. Samuel Montembeault out, and you can't really pin it on him. Caden Primo gets his first taste of hockey in the NHL this season.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I think that's a good move. With the way the score is, Montembeault's done as well as he could. Like you mentioned, not his fault. And the Canadiens will actually be on the power play here as the Panthers got the extra penalty after all that. So just going back to Jack, I can understand going in the dressing room, you're totally frustrated. There wasn't a call there, and he just hopefully gathered himself. We know that he's tough, and we'll just see what happens here in the third.
So Caden Primo, his first touch of the season and the game, leaves for Mike Matheson, as Jake Allen sounds like at least another week with his injury. Hopefully Yoel Armia back after the All-Star break as well. We know it's not good for Slafkovsky and Evans long-term as the Habs on the power play. Matheson, big drive that hit Mark Stahl in the back. One way to block a shot, and it's down the ice.
Yeah, and that hurts. Stahl is going slowly to the bench.
Here's Matheson. He'll deliver back for Nick Suzuki. In comes Suzuki. Caulfield drops to Dvorak. Back to Matheson. Across for Doc. At the seam pass for Caulfield just over his stick. Matheson delays. Caulfield, one-time drive. A good block by Gudas. As Gudas tries to clear, and he will, as Caulfield couldn't knock it down.
Yeah, frustrated for Caulfield. They're trying to get that shot through and gets blocked. And he was robbed a couple of times already tonight.
Oh, man, Caulfield could have two if not for the play of Alex Lyon.
And it's also when he could have scored as well earlier in the game.
Hoffman chips for Dadonov. Dadonov up for Jesse Ylönen. Ylönen into the corner. Anderson trying to get to the puck. He'll work it back into the corner. Dadonov around the boards to Hoffman. Hoffman leaves as that was picked off and flipped down the ice by Tkachuk. 20 seconds remaining in the minor to Forsling. As Yevgeny Dadonov, he'll drop it back for Anderson. Ylönen delivers. Dadonov went right through him, and Reinhart the other way. As Reinhart now on a 6-game point streak, 8 points over those 6 games. 3-point night for him. Forsling out of the box. As Hoffman to the left side for Rem Pitlick. Pitlick shoots, score! Seeing eye shot, Rem Pitlick, as the Habs have some life. Second goal of the season in his 15th game with the Habs this campaign. It's 5-1.
Yeah, it's just like an innocent play. It looks like Pitlick, when he gets the puck going down the left side, Gudas is there with his stick, and I thought he was going to go around the net, and I suspect Lyon was not expecting that shot, as he's almost at the goal line, and it ends up going glove side to make it 5-1.
Good little sneaky shot from Rem Pitlick, his second of the season. He snuck it in short side as Alex Lyon yet to record a shutout in his NHL career, and tonight will not be that night thanks to Rem Pitlick as the Habs look for more. Pitlick sends it across. That shot, rebound. Harvey Pinar in front, trying to jam it home after the drive from Kovacevic. Kovacevic for Harris. Harris will backhand it in. Harvey Pinar back up for Harris. He shoots. That hit a stick of Denisenko, goes behind the net. Up comes Cousins. Lost it. Pezzetta picks it up. Denisenko in transition, and he lost it at the line. Cousins gets back on side as Bennett drives play in, lost the puck. So Barron getting an assist, so he's got now 3 points in his last 2 games. Ekblad, he lost it. Pezzetta's got runway. Pezzetta tried to get in around, and a good close by Gustav Forsling. Barron to Edmondson. Up for Ylönen. Ylönen. Barron at the line. Tkachuk poked it away from him. Matthew Tkachuk, 2 power play goals in the game. He'll shovel it in. Verhaeghe into the corner. There's Edmondson. The backhand hit. Tkachuk up high. Verhaeghe spit and a miss. Tried to get one on Caden Primo. Panthers keep it in. Verhaeghe holds the zone. He'll shoot it in for Tkachuk. Mahura jams it in. Ylönen plays the body. Verhaeghe tries that centering pass. Ylönen gets it to Caulfield. The backhand flip by Caulfield. Gudas on a knee. Puts it back into Montreal territory. Here's Suzuki. Frees Caulfield. Cole Caulfield cutting in. Wrister. And that hit Mahura. Never got through the net. Matheson waits. Wanted that high tip from Caulfield. As the jam plays to Bart, nearly bounced right in front of the net. Suzuki giving chase. And Gudas taken down, and the crowd loves that.
Yeah, that was Suzuki. That's how strong he is.
The proud captain getting involved physically. Kirby Doc through center ice for Montreal. He'll chip and chase. Met by Stahl. Hoffman into the fray as well. Doc in there with Alexander Barkov. As Barkov now 38 points in 29 career games versus Montreal.
Yeah, Stahl and Hoffman going at it.
Hoffman gives him a shove, lost his stick, and gave him another shot. Lundell, he gets taken down in the corner. Oh, Savard is hot as he's looking to go with anybody as Savard was pushing everything in sight. And you expected this, Sergio, in the third.
You know what? Savard thought he had a penalty. He was going to the box, but I think it's going to go to Stahl. We'll have to wait and see here.
As Paul Maurice looks on, he's seen a few of these in his time. As
I think they're giving to both.
To a guy.
18, Montreal number 58, 2 minutes each, roughing.
I mean, Savard went all the way. Talk about pinching. He was behind the net in the corner, giving it to Stahl, and yeah, just you know, frustration. It's been built up since the second period. Jack, he's in the box from the end of the second period, and Savard gets in there as well now. So we'll have some 4-on-4.
So Stahl joining Giovanni Smith, Savard joining Arbor Jacki.
I think it's going to be a long third period, my friend. But we got the time.
Busy night for Jake Brank and Ghislain Hibert, who are not very popular right now at the Bell Center. So Matt McPherson going over to have a chat now with Marty St. Louis. As this really, Sergio, has carried over from the first meeting, as they'll do it again March 16th in Florida, and then there'll be one more game here back at the Bell Center a week after that.
Yeah, it doesn't take long. I mean, when, you know, I go back to that penalty by Anderson.
So Ulonen now in the box as well. So wait to hear the official penalties distributed in the building, as right now we're 4-on-4. Ekblad taken out of the play. Barron on the puck.
You know, it's funny. After all this, Tkachuk's been the most quiet guy.
Rare. Here's Harris in his own zone. Harris up the right side as Pentlick's cutting into the play as well. Barron stops. Goes up to Harris. Harris leaves. Swung towards the net. Little drop pass. Oh, nice move through the legs as Harris, though, couldn't get the shot away, but he does draw the penalty. And then tangled up with Ekblad as they have a few more words. Ekblad. And a fight. It's Tkachuk. You just talked about it. Tkachuk behind the play as he drops them and bombs with Matheson as Tkachuk takes down Mike Matheson. Just when you said, Sergio, he'd been quiet, he might have heard you, and him and Matheson dropped them. While that was going on, you saw that Ekblad was trying to mix things up as well, as it's turned into a circus.
Yeah, it sure has. And the original penalty is going to go to the Panthers, so it's going to be a 4-on-3 for the Canadians here.
Well, it's we're right above the penalty benches.
Number 9, 2 minutes for kneeing. Florida and Montreal, 5 minutes each for fighting.
So that definitely was going after Matheson because of the hit on Eric Stahl. There's no question about that. So everyone's going to get payback. And then you see the penalty where where Bennett sticks his knee out on Harris.
And that's where they talked about it, said, yeah, you want to go. In the meantime, it was Harris having a chat with Ekblad, and these two dropped them.
Well, I mean, this will be interesting. The Canadians can score here on this 4-on-3. It'll definitely make this period interesting. It already is. We've seen it all here tonight.
Close quarters in the penalty boxes for both teams right now. Not a lot of real estate in there as we're having some action here in the third period. As Gudis, and that hurt Kirby Dach. As Primo to play it, Dach is back on his skates as that stung. In comes Barkov, driving in, Barkov to the net. And he couldn't pull the trigger on a shot as Forsling has to retreat. So 4-on-3 for Montreal. As Gudis will hammer it in. Barkov was coming in, so Primo had to play it, and there's Suzuki. Suzuki, 9 points in 8 career games versus Florida, and he'd love to get one right now. Caulfield. Louis Dorinen hits Caulfield. Battle continues. Suzuki fishes out the puck. Nick Suzuki delays, drops it off, hopping up top for Dach. Dach to Caulfield, back up to Dach. Dach. Suzuki waits, wrister, Caulfield. Oh, yeah, the open net, but Gudis got in the way. Up top, Dach slashes that one high and wide off the glass. As Gudis, they'll chip that down the ice, head off for a change. Cole Caulfield has had some looks in this game, Sergio.
Yeah, frustration. Now it's 5-on-4.
In comes Dach, some speed as he was cruising in. Tries to kick it into the corner around Lundell. Little back feed. Ulonen, he lost it as Lundell chips it down the ice.
Well, the Panthers very aggressive, even on the 4-on-3. They didn't allow the Canadians really to set up.
So 20 seconds remaining in the penalty to Bennett. In comes Dadonov, leaves for Ulonen. Ulonen up top for Barron. Across that drive, puck loose in front, lying down as Dadonov was looking for it, and it's cleaned up by Florida. Just held in as Ulonen able to hold the zone. Anderson takes contact. Ulonen on it as Bennett's out of the box. Pitlick across, one-time drive, score! Josh Anderson! We're not done yet. Anderson, 13 on the season. It's 5-2.
Well, you gotta like the fight in this team, Brian. I mean, they do not give up. And, you know, Bennett was coming out of the box, as you mentioned, but great play there by the Canadians to hold on to it and make that pass. And Pitlick was holding on to it, and he sees Anderson across for the one-timer. And the Canadians make it 5-2. And all this stuff going on here, Canadians have not given up. This crowd hasn't given up. And we got ourselves a game.
Anderson goals now in back-to-back games. Ren Pitlick, a 2-point night. Can the Habs keep it coming? Here's Dvorak. Into the mix with Louis Dorinen. Pezzetta reaching for the puck, and this crowd is energized one more time at the Bell Center. Pezzetta picks it up. Michael Pezzetta round the net. He'll go up top. Here's Harris. Harris, little head fake, throws it towards the net. Bouncing puck. Harvey Pinard there, trying to fish it free. In comes Pezzetta. He'll chip it into the corner. Cousins there. He takes contact right at the line, and Kovacevic couldn't hold it in. So Ulonen also getting an assist. 5-2, Florida leads. Bennett, little chip out of the reach of Verhaeghe. It has been quite the game, Sergio. Both starting goalies out of the game for different reasons. We've had fights, we've had physical play, and a lot of goals. And another one, backdoor feed is Ryan Lomberg, and that'll silence the crowd. It's 6-3. As Lomberg has 6 on the season.
I mean, this has been a roller coaster ride. You heard the fans come back. They were all excited to get back in the game, and then, you know, the Panthers just throw one to the net, and Lomberg right in front and tips it in. And now the crowd is silenced again. And Verhaeghe just takes a look, throws the puck to the front of the net. And there's that tip for the Panthers. 6-2.
Sergio, you could do a SportsCenter top 10 on just the first 2 meetings of the season between these two teams.
Well, it's definitely entertaining no matter what the score is.
So 6-2 Florida here at the Bell Center as Lundell on the puck shoots it in. Barkov chips into the corner. Barron just avoids the check from Lundell. Slung in front by Mark Stahl. There's Reinhart. Keeps the play alive with Lundell. Ekblad at the line, chips it in. And Edmondson settles it down for Montreal. Both teams getting a change in.
I was just confirming that was the first shot for the Panthers of this period.
Mahura in his own zone, the back end up for Lomberg. And Bennett kind of took a stumble there, and he put his team in offside. So the Habs certainly made it interesting with a couple of goals and some pushback from Pitlick and Anderson. But it's 6-2 Florida.
All right, break time. Want to watch TV?
I don't think we can do that.
Of course we can. 5 TV. We can watch TV anywhere we want.
Huh. Hey, do they have the good doctor?
Oh, yeah. There he is.
Oh, my God. Such a good actor. Should call him the best doctor.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you can watch live news.
Progress. A robbery is currently taking place at the Museum of History. Police officers are...
Enjoy the best TV app anywhere you are.
A new year calls for a fresh start and a sale. The Home Hardware Renew Year sale is on now.
Save 25% on Delta faucets and save 15% on Woodcrest, Cutchin, and Eurorite cabinetry. Only at Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
Mercedes-Benz is turning electric completely on its head, bringing legendary design and state-of-the-art technology to a fully electric SUV. The all-new, all-electric EQB from Mercedes-Benz.
Welcome back to the Bell Center. Time now for the Molson Export big moment of the game, Sergio.
Yeah, unfortunately, the big moment is the fact that when the Canadians challenge, they end up losing the challenge. So it's 1-0 on that goal, and then obviously they score again on the power play to make it 2-0.
So a great start from the Florida Panthers. They've been red hot on the power play in this game.
I guess we can also call that the TSN turning point.
Yes. And a tough challenge too. I mean, Martin St. Louis and the coaching staff, I think, had every right to challenge. I mean, could have went either way, and it did. It went against the Canadians, and you get those 2 quick goals and then the momentum. And again, Montreal, the effort has always been there with this club. It really has. The battle is always there with these Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, when they went on that trip before and after Christmas, yeah, the games were getting tough, and then you saw lately it started to close up. But tonight, with all the power play goals against, and that made it tough. But you're right, they come back, they make it 5-2. The crowd was going, and then unfortunately Florida scores on their first shot to make it 6-2.
Faceoff back to the point. Harris thought about the shot as that drive goes behind the goal line from Anderson. In front, good shot. Harris and Lyon got a piece. Harper Jackeye chops it in. Knocked around the boards by Anderson. Here's Gudas in his own zone. Up the right wing, Lomberg. Got a touch on it. Primo will play it for Harris. Harris up quickly for Hoffman. That's the intended target. It'll bounce right to Lyon. He's got to play it. And he'll leave it for Montour. Up to Denisenko. Edmondson able to take that away, but it's picked up by Luostarinen. Pezzetta. He'll drop it back for Barron, who shoots it in comes Pezzetta. Chips it to the other corner. Cousins there. As is Barron. Luostarinen in the vicinity. As that's picked up by Dadonov. Weak wrister off a stick and wide. Pezzetta collects in the corner. Up for Dvorak. Dvorak. Barron one-time try. Just went. Rebound. Dadonov tried to tuck it home. And he couldn't get it in short side. Florida changing. Pezzetta on the puck as he assesses options. He'll offer a change as well and drop it off. Giovanni Smith, the lone forechecker. Shot in, and after it was Ulonen. Arbor Jacki slings one, a high one off the glass, behind line. Pitlick, far point, Arbor Jacki, delays, shoots, in and out of Lyon, picked up by Harvey Pinard. Raphael Harvey Pinard, Pitlick, the dish for Ulonen. Ulonen in front, and cleared out of harm's way by Giovanni Smith. Reinhardt trying to track that puck down and knock it down. Lundell collects, throws it towards the net, and he missed the mark. Gudas chips it back in. Big shot there from Jacki on Smith as Mahara loads up. Didn't get through. Then Smith, he wants Jacki. Jacki thought about it. They're chatting, and they're going to go. Smith, Jacki. And this was brewing as Arbor Jacki gets the rights going. Giovanni Smith on a knee, keeps feet in the right hands. And the officials will break it up as Arbor Jacki had enough, and he continues to chat.
Yeah, two big boys. We just saw it happening in front of the net. And Jacki obliged.
Montreal Canadiens down by 4 on this Thursday night.
Crafted with Valencia orange peel, Blue Moon is one of a kind. Something this unique could hang in a gallery, but then you wouldn't be able to drink it. Blue Moon, one of a kind, every time.
Here's to those who ask how. Like Saeed, who asked Mark Olivier from Home Hardware how to replace a vanity without his father-in-law taking over. Or Hannah, who built an accent wall with Janine's help to show off the books she intends to read. Or Kim, who updated her kitchen with Jeffrey's advice, so it finally looks like it's from this century. Complete your next project with helpful advice from thousands of store owners and team members across Canada. Home Hardware and Building Centers. Here's how.
So what do you think about using the money we saved by switching our insurance to Bel Air Direct to finally splurge on some
privacy blinds?
Yeah.
Switch your insurance to Bel Air Direct and save. It's that simple.
Grit. Sure, it's mud and rocks and sweat and all that. Always will be. But grit is also an idea. An idea that changes the way we see and the way we do things. With an available iForce Max hybrid powertrain, Toyota Tundra is the new definition of grit.
Well, this replay brought to you by Bell 5G, and you can just see how the Canadians move the puck around, and then finally Pitlick over to Josh Anderson to get that goal.
You can watch this game using the TSN 5G view powered by Bell 5G on the TSN app. Take control of the angle, zoom in, out, and rotate around the action. Visit tsn.ca/5G view for more information. When I asked Martin St. Louis earlier today about, fighting Jacki, picking your spots, I did not envision a game like this tonight versus Florida. As Bennett, wrist shot in front for Hagee, chips at it. Primo, a good stop there. It has been one of those nights, Sergio, at the Bell Center.
I don't think Marty St. Louis envisioned this night as well. I think he's going to have nightmares.
Good shot kind of collided with Verhaeghe. Little chip up ahead for Caulfield. Caulfield delays, flips to space for Dadonov. Dadonov taken away by Verhaeghe. Kovacevic holds it in. Gudas. Suzuki. Thought about lining him up as it's played to center ice and into Montreal territory. Jonathan Kovacevic, a little bit of pace through center ice. He'll shoot it in. Mark Stahl and Hoffman in the corner. Hoffman wins the battle, flips in front. That drive by Doc, and bit of a knuckler. Didn't find the mark.
Yeah, nice play by Hoffman and a big hit.
Doc on Stahl, right at the line. Anderson avoids contact, cutting in. He shoots as Stahl tried to line up Josh Anderson. There is a physical flair to this game tonight.
Oh, it's not over. 6:09 left, and you got to keep your head up as Doc finishes his check on Stahl, and then he goes after anybody who's coming across the ice. So Stahl's been involved a lot tonight as well for the Panthers.
There was a look at Sylvain Lefebvre, who played 3 seasons with Montreal to start his career. 200 games with the Habs, won a Stanley Cup with the Avalanche. And you had a good chat with him earlier today, assistant coach of the Panthers.
Yeah, I remember playing against him actually when he was playing for the Leafs. Steady defenseman.
Matheson jams it into the corner. And behind the play,
that was Pezzetta.
On Lundell, slow to get up. And another fight coming up. Lomberg and Pezzetta. His turn to answer the call. Pezzetta, right hand free. Pezzetta gets the rights going. Lomberg answers back with a few, and then he's got the left going as well. Lomberg got the sneaky left. Pezzetta, late right. Helmet comes off. Pezzetta continues to tangle, trying to get his helmet off. And that'll do it. So the action continues at the Bell Center. I know the Habs are down by 4, but they're getting their money's worth tonight.
With Eastside Mario's all you can eat, you manja, manja, manja.
Oh, Pop, they got more salad. Oh, Pop, they got more soup. Oh, Pop, they got more garlic home loaf. Manja, mama, manja. Hey, bada boo, bada bing.
With dementia, you're adrift. By combining research with a full spectrum of care, Baycrest is pioneering breakthroughs. No other organization leads more researchers working to defeat dementia. We believe 50% of dementia cases can be prevented, but we need your help. Donate now, and together, we'll create a future without fear.
Here at the Nissan Institute of Thrilology, we have excitement down to a science. And today we're looking at the cold hard data on cold weather convenience. All-wheel drive confidence, and premium comforts to keep you warm through the storm. That's the power of Thrilology.
And now during the Nissan Thrilology sales event, lease select 2023 Rogue models for 4.49% for 24 months OAC.
Montreal Canadiens hockey on TSN is proudly brought to you by Molson Export. Here's to the real ones.
Welcome back to Molson Export Canadiens hockey on TSN. So here is the updated chances, percentages of the lottery board, and Montreal, Sergio, could get the last laugh on Florida. See at number 10? That's not lottery protected, that pick from the Florida Panthers. So possibly 2 chances for Connor Bedard, who, if you haven't been paying attention, unbelievable talent, won the under-18 gold medal for Canada, back-to-back World Junior gold medals for Canada, as well as Connor Bedard, a special player. And there is your updated chances.
Yeah, I was just joking, saying, you know, you do a great job doing the play-by-play for hockey, Brian, but I think you can work boxing as well. You've got in a couple of bouts, I think 3 bouts here tonight.
Well, it's, you know, Sergio, it's frustrating. I know, obviously, for the players, the coaching staff for Montreal, but they've stuck up for each other. I mean, you've been in games like this. You're better to speak to it than I am, what these nights feel like.
No, absolutely. I mean, they got embarrassed in Florida. Kind of happening again here as the game changed over. A couple of hits going on, some questionable calls, and then you get frustrated, especially when you're down. And I think, I mean, with 5:51 left, you still got to keep your head up out there. Pizzetta got into a fight. Jack-eye.
Mr. Molson might have to renovate the penalty benches for a little more room down there. It is still jammed up.
Yeah, I remember many nights in those penalty boxes.
Not you, Mo. No way. So 6-2 Florida. Anderson right down on line. He'll steer it into the corner.
It's not so bad now with the high glass. The fans can't get you. At the old Chicago Stadium, they'd be throwing beer on you at the same time.
So Florida looking for more on the power play. Good pickoff there by Raphael Harvey-Pinard. He'll send it down the ice. And on this power play, Paul Maurice has his bigs out in a 6-2 game. Ekblad for Barkov. Barkov spun off the puck.
So what does that say? It's 6-2, and you put your #1 unit out there just to rub it in Montreal's face as well?
Listen, I'm not working for Tourism Florida, but if I'm a Habs fan, how about March 16th? Pretty nice beaches down there. That's the next meeting between these two, and you know that animosity will carry over. That'll be the third of 4 meetings this season. They'll do it one more time at the Bell Center as well. Here's Barkov. Tries to throw it across the seam. Ulinen reaching for it. Barkov has the puck. Little touch pass right and across. Ekblad's drive, handled by Primo. Montour at the line. Wrist shot wide. Barkov thought about it. Goes low. Kachuk looking for the power play hat trick in this game. Up top, Montour faked it. Shoots in front. Kachuk was there. And a good job by Primo. Kovacevic takes contact in the corner. 10 seconds remaining in the man advantage. 4 minutes to go in the game. Pass right in front through the legs. Kachuk and Primo, a good job to stay with him. Made that save. Reinert delivers and he misses. Dadonov, he's out and he's got a chance. Evgeny Dadonov with Pitlick. Graham Pitlick. And the pass, just not enough sauce as Barkov got back.
Oh, that's too bad. Pitlick would have been all alone for a breakaway.
Ekblad sends it to space, looking for Louis Storinen. Picked up by Denisenko. He'll wheel, shoots, and Primo to stop. You got to give credit to both these goalies as Primo and Line coming in under different circumstances, but really called in cold. As Lyon out of nowhere, Bobrovsky, if you're just joining us, left this game in the initial stages of the first period with a lower body issue. Look out, turnover, Louis Storinen. He picks it up, delays, flips it across. That drive by Cousins handled by Caden Primo.
Yeah, solid by Primo. He just stuck his ground, made the save.
Played up for Suzuki out of his reach for an icing. And time now for your high performance part, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. And we can point to a few players, but Alex Lyon, full credit, he came in. How about those 2 stops early on Caulfield and another one later in the game? That's the Napa high performance part.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at that stage of the game, it was right there. And then, he came in and made those incredible saves. Another one on Anderson, as you recall.
Good is at the line. He'll whack it in. Off the net and out of play.
It's unfortunate. I mean, this looked like it was going to be a back and forth game. And once, the Canadians lost that challenge, and that's where Florida took advantage on the power play, got the second one. As we know, 4 power play goals. And here we are at 6-2, and a lot of stuff going on in between, that's for sure. As these fans were hanging around for the most part.
You look at Kent Hughes, Jeff Gorton looking on as Ken Hughes addressing the media earlier today, as Arpin and Kenzie talked about. As the Habs will host their rivals, the Leafs, on Saturday as they continue their homestand. And if you haven't heard the news by now, obviously a lot of injuries. We're hoping Jake Gallen 1 more week, maybe Jonathan Drouin after the All-Star break. Yoel Armia same, and Jake Evans, Slavkovsky long term. As the fans in the building saluting Arbor Jacki, who out of the box and back on the bench, as they appreciated his efforts in this game. So yeah, a lot of injuries right now. You had Gallagher obviously in there, Dooley. It was nice to see Sean Monahan at the rink. One thing Nick Suzuki talked about too is making sure a lot of the young players stay around the guys, around the team, to feel involved and feel a part of the team in the process. As Kirby Talk, that'll be a popular hit as he took down Gudis. Gudis gives him a whack. Kirby Talk with a late shot. Good hit on Gudis.
It's never ending.
And again, you know this will carry over. As Anderson, that wrister high and wide.
Anderson's on the ice, though, so if Gudis goes after Doc, Anderson won't be afraid to go after him.
And Doc's running around, gave a little shot to Denisenko. Remember, it was Denisenko who had that cross-check on Arbor Jacki.
Yeah, he's the guy that started it all.
Here's Doc at center ice. Gudis tried to line him up again.
And that's where he gets dangerous, because he can come across and go for your knees, and that's the difference. And there's
Anderson. Yeah, to your point, right away, that conversation, Anderson right away went right to him. Here's Denisenko. Drop pass off the boards. Little Storinen leaves.
Getting hot up here.
Forcing across.
Oh, man.
Get your skates, Mo. Here's Cousins at the line. Mahura jams it in. I thought you just got new skate blades too, didn't you? You told me this week. You're back.
I'm back. I just got to get them sharpened, and I'm ready.
Sharpen your elbows. Final minute, Bell Center, 6-2 Florida. Forsling picks that off. Good block, Harvey Pinar. In the corner, A2 Louis Storina on the block for the Panthers. Still on it as he'll leave. Mahura dumps it in. Denisenko up for Forsling. Cousins. Forsling delays as the Panthers just kill off the clock here. Content to finish up their road trip, pocket the 2 points, and head back to Florida, where they'll host the Wild on Saturday. As the Florida Panthers, President's Trophy winners, still outside of the playoff spot, as we mentioned, coming in 4 points back of the second wild card, but a chance to get 2 points tonight. One last burst, Dadonov off the left side. Dadonov cutting in, round the net. He's got to be quick. Tries the wrap job right in front. Hoffman, as the horn sounds, and the Florida Panthers pick up the victory in what was a feisty, hotly contested game with some bad blood, and obviously the explosion. 4 power play goals in the second period, the difference.
Yeah, the two things was Alex Lyon and Nets making those saves, and then the 4 power play goals by the Panthers to take over this game. And that's the story here, with all the fights that were in between a little bit here and there of this hockey game.
So good on Alex Lyon, who gets his first action of the season in relief of Bobrovsky. Brings us to the most in export 3 stars of the night, Sergio.
Yeah, and they're all Florida Panthers. You see Matthew Tkachuk, Sam Reinhart, and Alex Lyon, your 3 stars for tonight.
Matthew Tkachuk.